of like just that alternate day. Is Sunday night the best prime time? What does everybody think?
Works best for me.
I think it is.
Sunday?
Yeah, Sunday is great. Now, Josh Mansfield is going to be on after Virtue leaves. Funny enough. Josh Mansfield sent in $2. Thank you guys for your super chats, but throw us some topics. We need some topics here. Says Gino, welcome.
We got a topic.
Hey, where it says, when he says, "Oh, Mr. Tito," that's what your mama says, Josh.
Whoa.
Over and over and over again.
There you go. Well, thank you guys. And Virtue, what do you got for us? I know you want to throw something at us.
These are like, I just kind of like briefly looked this data up, but I want to talk about some big WWE WrestleManias where they actually went back to the same stadiums. MetLife Stadium, WrestleMania from 29 to 35, they did actually have about a 5,000 drop from one year to the next, which, you know, is a drop in attendance, but it's not like too bad going back to the same city. And yes, these weren't back-to-back years. WrestleMania 34 and 30, that was in New Orleans, actually had a gain from 30 to 34. WrestleMania, if you go to Madison Square Garden, 1, 10 to 20, they all had gains. 10 had more than 1, 20 had more than 10. And if I'm wrong on any of these, the data was wrong that I looked up, but I double-checked and it looked correct. Skydome, WrestleMania 6 to 18. 18 had more. Where I'm going with this, All In for AEW had those huge numbers last year. CM Punk was billed on the card. That whole drama on air or aired all over for everybody to see. Tony Khan did what he did, fired him publicly. A year later, 50,000. Huge drop, big drop. And I'm telling you, that's a good number. It's a very solid number to do that, right? I'm not dissing the 47,000 gated and 53,000 paid, whatever it was. But let's be honest, there was no CM Punk, and they went to a stadium and they lost. And everybody criticizes them lately about TV ratings, attendance here in America. There is data right there saying they're declining, not gaining. Who wants to go first on this? I'm not trying to be a troll about AEW. I think by bringing this stuff up, we want somebody to hear so they can do something to entice more fans to come in and watch their product. Get Tito and me to not bash AEW, maybe not bash it, but state the things that aren't good about it so we could actually be fans of it and want to watch it. Tito, you want to say something about that? Well, I just saw those numbers come out today from WrestleNomics about the All-Ins, and we knew it was going to be down. Like, you just don't come back a year later and do that same draw. But why couldn't they get 65,000? You know what I mean? 70,000. They got like way less. Any thoughts?
I mean, it's just AEW. Honestly, I'll be honest. I'm not watching enough of this crap lately to really comment on it. But what if draw like still 45,000 fans or whatever? That's still not bad. That's a good payday even for a declining promotion. I think the real challenge will be what can they do next year when they're in Dallas? Can they draw here in the States? It's easier to be like a gimmick and go overseas when, you know, they're kind of starving for wrestling. And you'll see if WrestleMania goes that way, they'll pack that Wembley Stadium to ridiculous heights when they do WrestleMania. But I think the real test here is, and you're seeing the test as an ongoing basis, is how are they drawing in North America? And it appears that North American fans are fed up with their product, and the lower houses that are below 5,000 per show are proving that out, along with less than 700,000 on their TV shows. So, I mean, they did, you know, bravo for them for drawing over 40,000 in Wembley. That's good. I think that's still good, even, you know, 1 year after doing 60, 70,000 the previous year.
80 allegedly.
But I think the real barometer, if AEW is truly legit, is how do they draw next year in Dallas with their so-called WrestleMania event called All In.
All right, that's a good point. Yeah. And of course, they're not going to have CM Punk at that show next year. Yes, Aaron.
Yeah, so I think Mr. Tito was very fair with his response to that, and I was going to more or less say the same thing. I think in AEW's defense, it's still one of the biggest attendance numbers for a non-WWE show in history. It might be like third or fourth. It's still a great number, but obviously there has to be a concern about the decline And are they going to try to pack Wembley Stadium in 2026? The answer appears to be yes. They already said they're coming back to Wembley, and that's going to be a difficult task unless they can pick things up with their business. And that's the real concern. Can they get people invested? Because they're losing viewers, and that first year, it was a novelty. First time in Europe, that was big, but then second year, not as special. And what are they going to do for the next time? I know they're skipping a year, but they do have to draw in Texas.
WWE went back. Now, it wasn't the next year, but to several big stadiums and even Madison Square Garden, and increased all but one time. I'm just saying, like, when you figure out a way to draw in casual fans and not just those diehard wrestling fans, you can make more money. I mean, that's how WWE can shill their product to these streaming networks now and these TV cable networks because of their history that they created, right?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, so we do have some super chats, though, but I don't know if Jerry or Gino or Walter want to add their takes.
Go ahead, Walter. I was just stating CM Punk was on last year's show.
Yeah.
maybe they get 5 to 7 to 10 more thousand this year if that didn't blow up in their face and he was main eventing.
Yeah, I think that's part of the problem. But the problem is that AEW does very, very well in terms of booking everything on their pay-per-views, but their weekly shows just don't respond to that. It's like their weekly shows can't keep me captivated. You can miss Dynamite, miss Collision, miss everything, just tune into the pay-per-view, and it'd be as if you watch the whole week. Like, it's not captivating. And you would think they can outdraw WWE in stadiums when their WrestleMania is in August. Hot weather, better temperature, better. You would think people would go to the show. These people, WWE did New York, they New Jersey, technically, all these stadiums, and it's March, April. It's still cold in the East Coast, damn it, and people still piled out there, and they can still draw these big numbers. And you're in Detroit right now, Aaron, so you know it's cold in the East Coast. It's still in those months. So for
Walter, we knew they weren't going to do last year's number. Like, last year when they did that, we're like, yeah, they're coming back next year. They ain't doing that again. But like, if they had 60,000. I don't think I'm bringing this up because it was probably right around where we thought. I'm like, wow, that's kind of a huge drop. What happened to all those fans? Did nobody travel? Like, you know what I mean? From other countries to go over there, and that lessened it so much. It's just crazy. I mean, you got to capitalize on that momentum. And what happened after that great attendance last year? All the drama. Jack Perry couldn't keep his mouth shut. The Punk stuff that wasn't handled properly by management. That hurts big time.
Okada, Ospreay just aren't draws. That's the
point. That was the point I was going to make. Is the fact that they don't really have like somebody that can actually paint as the face of the company right now in AEW. There's really everybody's just kind of like in the loop, but there's really nobody that like they can make as a poster boy or somebody that'll be a main draw to AEW at this point. Like back last year, they had CM Punk, they had Samoa Joe, they had these like higher profile names, but like, and don't get me wrong, they're getting some good, homegrown stars there, but there's nothing like marquee wise in AEW right now.
Jerry, that Punk and Joe match last year, it wasn't an all-time classic barn burner, but knowing we know what we know now,
wasn't. But knowing who they were, you're expecting a really good match.
Performed in front of the fans with Joe and got that done. I'm sure he was hot as hot could be in terms of his anger, and he still did it. Just like Shawn and Austin at WrestleMania 14, not a great match, but Austin was coming off a broken neck earlier that prior year. Michael's back was blown up. I look at that match as a different beast than all-time great match to me for what they had to do while doing it. So that Punk and Joe match to me is an all-time classic now because of what
that's what I'm pretty much saying right now. Is you could say Punk or Samoa Joe, and there's like that connection there. You'd be like, okay, I definitely want to see these guys go at it. Like there's like Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay, both fantastic performers. Not taking anything away from them at all, but they're not on that level yet to draw the kind of number that they would need to like make that like a super success. 45,000 people, nothing to sneeze at all. That's a great number. But like the 60 or 70,000 that they want to reach, they're going to need a bigger name for it.
true. Gino, go ahead and add something, and then we'll go to Aaron and start the super chats.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you were asking, like, are the fans not traveling to the event? They're not getting kind of that outside of the local fandom. It kind of made me think, well, WWE's doing a lot more overseas. I know, the UK, France, Berlin, they're separated, but you got to believe the fans would be coming in and out for those big events that are coming in. And now they're potentially spending their vacation savings or their trip to a big wrestling show savings on your Backlash or your Bash in Berlin or your Clashes at the Castle. It feels like there's a lot more options for the fans over there, plus the decline in maybe interest of the product. That CM Punk not being there hurts, but like you said, the controversy and when that video came out, it was just not a good look. And it was kind of in line with this event specifically. So it's like, do you really want to repeat at the same venue or the same location so it feels like that could be playing a role as well.
Tito?
I think all the B shows for pay-per-views or
Your name
premium
Tito,
live
Jerry?
events now
Go
should be
ahead.
overseas. Sorry.
That's okay, but yeah, that's a good point.
I think the B shows should be overseas. That like, if anything made the B shows better, it was the crowds. And just the raucous ones in Europe have been like what have saved a lot of these like B shows for WWE. So maybe have the big four in the United States, but then like have everything else just overseas, just expanding the market that way. But then also have like giving the exposure to like the international fans. It's a good idea.
Yeah, the global force in sports entertainment. Tito?
Here's the last point I want to make. I think overall, if you look at the concert numbers right now, they're all down. If you look at like conferences of different companies, they're struggling, to meet attendance, but they're also having a lot of problems with the heightened inflation for the past few years. If you're going to get people into a stadium and convince them to travel, convince them to get into hotels and buy overpriced tickets, your product better be good. And it's a testament to the WWE's quality, the fact that they're convincing people with strained incomes to actually go travel and get hotel rooms, buy those expensive tickets to see their shows. On the other side, AEW's not seeing the same attendance. It's dropping. So it's a measure of demand, folks. Take an economics class. And, if your product isn't good, fans aren't going to be willing to submit their scarce income to see your product. And same thing if you look over in London, they've been hit with inflation harder than the United States. So year over year, they're losing 20,000 fans off their rules here in Wembley Stadium. They're not convinced to give up their strained income to go see AEW for a second time.
Now, speaking of concerts and venues, Taylor Swift's still drawn pretty well. Didn't Tony Khan make some type of excuse like Taylor Swift is supposed to be over here around the time we are and we can't sell? Like, I don't know, the stadium's not going to be set up the right way, or I don't know. I just remember hearing somebody talking about Taylor Swift over in London, but I don't know. She's a draw for her no matter where she goes.
Tony,
will she ever sing at WrestleMania, America the Beautiful? Probably not.
Tony's a dumbass. I mean, that is just a total dumbass. He's just a little child. He's been given his little wrestling company by his billionaire dad. That's the only reason why he exists as he exists. I mean, it's a miracle, honestly, that AEW's gotten this far, but it goes to show you what billions of dollars can do.
I'll tell you what, Tito, through all of that, I really do have respect for Shad Khan. What a great father. He wants to make sure his son's happy. He'd be a great second dad. I love my dad, but man, Shad Khan is my dad. And it's not about the money. It's just about how he cares. I love it. Aaron, go ahead.
All right, so we do have some super chats, and you guys can keep sending in super chats. Give us some tough topics. Like, let's have a really heated debate tonight. You guys got to give us a controversial topic to discuss so we can get heated here on No DQ Review 300. This is historic. This is episode 300. So give us a really difficult, challenging, controversial topic, and we'll cover it. But let's get to this first one. Virtue, I think you'll like this one here. Emmanuel sent in $5. Thank you for that. Says, for Virtue, was it fair or unfair that Roman Reigns screwed Solo Sikoa when Solo always helped his tribal chief? Why couldn't Roman Reigns help his fellow tribal chief?
Well, if I remember correctly, was that match a Bloodline rules match?
Yes.
Technically, so everything goes out the window, and I can't judge fair and unfair. Like, you know, I don't know, did Cody have that same amount of time to prepare like he did for his WrestleMania match to line up all the stars that come out and help him? Oh, wait, Roman came out and helped him, so yeah.
Well,
I don't
I
it's a Bloodline rules match.
I mean, Roman Reigns was the guy that gave Solo his opportunity. And without Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa wouldn't even be a thing. Tito, what do you think?
How is it a Bloodline rules match when Cody can bring out his own guys? I'm still wondering that. A Bloodline rules would tell me that, you know, essentially
we have people, but you can't.
If Cody did it, you're DQ'd, but we can do it.
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah.
That's what reads to me.
I mean, fair enough. Anybody else have an opinion on that topic, or should we move to the
Only
next one?
family can be involved. So you got to have the last name Rhodes or Reynolds to be involved on one side, and you got to have IE on the other side. That's
Right.
That'd be a nightmare rules match.
Yeah, exactly. And Roman didn't screw Solo. Solo screwed Solo.
There you go. Gino?
Yeah, I would say it's fair as it's part of the rules of the match, but it's not clean, right? And also that Solo screwed Solo, like you said, Walter. He put the wise man through the table. He's straight up calling out Roman Reigns' name, like, you want this, come and get it. And like, is Roman Reigns not going to come and get it? I mean, come on now. He's the tribal chief, so he's going to come and take what's his. Absolutely.
Well, hold on. This comment here, Bloodline rules means no rules. Why don't we just call it no disqualification or street fight or whatever?
Like if you're using the term bloodline,
Look better in the
I think
graphic.
it would give the bloodline the true advantage.
So
Cody doesn't have any friends. Come on.
So thus, Aaron, you were wrong here. It was not fair that Cody Rhodes won the world title at WrestleMania 40. You're wrong, Aaron. You're wrong, Aaron Rift.
It's because they have to pander. It's just like when they're in Chicago, they got to call the street fight Chicago street fight. When they're over here, they got to call it's just a pandering thing. That's all it is.
All right, so that's a question there. We got another one here from Building Nexus. All right, this is a hot topic. I think I know Virtue's answer, but I'm curious as to what the rest of the panel thinks on this one. Should Cody or Roman Reigns get the Rock match in Las Vegas? Sorry, Gino, you had your hand up.
Everybody knows my answer, right?
Yeah.
No, it shouldn't be Cody and Rock. It should be Roman and Rock because all the Roman and Rock and the casual Rock fans, we waited already. We were teased, right? Like you were teased for a second Royal Rumble win would get Cody another WrestleMania shot. Well, you ended up getting your wish. Now it's our turn. So, like, whoever has been planting, Meltzer, it's going to be Solo and Roman. They're going to save that for WrestleMania. No, they're not. What's Roman going to do at WrestleMania if Rock faces Cody? All right, who else wants to go? I mean, there's nothing else left for me to say.
All right.
Yeah, so I would agree. It's the biggest match that the WWE can possibly do, and you put it at the biggest event in the brand new Las Vegas Sphere. It's going to be awesome. There's no chance that they don't pull the trigger on that this year, especially they've been teasing it for even more than a year now. It's like, okay, The Rock's only getting older. He's getting hurt on the set of a movie. So it's like, we need to not get it out of the way, but it just needs to happen. And I guess you could say get it out of the way, but it needs to happen at WrestleMania.
And if Cody's still the champion and he defends against Cena and Cena's going for the record, I don't need a title on it. I'd like the title on it, and I want Rock to win it before so he defends against Roman. But come on, who would seriously think we're not getting Rock and Roman at 41?
It can just be for the tribal chief.
Ball drop to me. Who wants it? Tito, you got anything to say on this?
I don't know. I think with The Rock being a board member, he's got a lot more invested in the WWE instead of just a short run here. I could see a 2-year plan of Cody versus Rock this year and then Rock and Roman at 42. Is that right? Yeah, Rock and Roman at 42. I could see that. I don't know. I mean, I think we're in a different era where they're willing to stretch things and not just rush and have instant gratification. We're kind of in long-term story mode telling here with Triple H now fully in charge. So I could see them going Cody Rock this year, than going Rock and Roman at 42.
Yeah,
I
still can't.
It's
I
a
mean, if
bummer.
it happened, I would be shocked.
I know,
I
but it's
understand what Tito's saying, but Rock is only getting older. I don't know if he
you know, I
wants
get that, Tito. Right? Rock wants to
Yeah.
milk this thing for years. Okay,
but Rock was very old this past year, WrestleMania 40, and he looked great. I mean, he doesn't have
That's true.
he doesn't have to, like, you know, do high risk moves. That's what AEW doesn't understand. You can do more with less, and just kind of work and sell a match. And I think an older Rock, as you saw in the tag match, operated fairly well. I mean, he did great in that match. And, you know, could he do that again in 2 years? Well, I saw Steve Austin, who's older than The Rock, do quite well against Kevin Owens a few years ago. So I just think never say never on this, because I think with Triple H, he's pushing longer term storylines, and he's okay with stretching things out and going Rock and Cody this year at 41, and then boom, Rock and Roman at 42. I could
but
see
what
that.
does Roman do at 41? Got to have a big match.
CM Punk.
Okay, and would Rock take the title from Cody? I can't see them letting, because that would totally, if Cody beat Rock, that would devalue the eventual Roman and Rock.
I mean, I could see if they wanted to do it quick.
Unless Roman cost him.
Yeah, I mean, if Rock doesn't want to wrestle that much, I could see Cody and Roman at Royal Rumble, and then that becomes Roman versus Rock for the title. I could see that happen, but I could also see them stretching it for 2 years.
Walter.
I'm not demeaning the WWE title in any shape or form, but I think the name of Tribal Chief, or being the head of that Anoa'i family, would mean more to The Rock and Roman than the actual title. I feel like that's what they need to fight over. Who's really the head of that whole dynasty for generations to come? And I feel like that's going to mean more.
Which I know. So you're basically saying it doesn't need a title, and I've heard this before. Yeah. My argument back is, for the 3.5 years Roman was the Tribal Chief head of the table, he had that title and made 2 titles won. And so to me now that's synonymous with that title. Yes, Aaron.
Well, I just wanted to add to that what Walter was talking about with the title of the Tribal Chief. They've made what's the necklace called?
Ulafala.
Yeah, they've gotten that over. Like, that has value now. Some might say that has more value than the World Championship, than the Universal Championship.
Are they selling him yet on the merch stand? Fake ones?
Oh, they make a killing on that.
they better, right?
But yeah, that is what's over right now, is possession of that. And they could just go with that. But after what we saw at WrestleMania this year, I feel like we have to see The Rock versus Cody Rhodes. So they got to figure out how to do both matches. But I don't think you should wait too long for The Rock and Roman Reigns. We talked about this before, with Las Vegas being the location. It's full circle from the press conference. They got to figure out a way to do both matches. But I think the real legit biggest match is still Roman Reigns versus The Rock. All right, we got 2 hands up.
Let's go Gino next, because he hasn't talked. I don't think he's talked on this.
Yeah, so the WWE has more work to do to put together a Rock and Roman match, because they ended, as team, as family, right? Whereas The Rock and Cody, it's already like set up. You could do that match as soon as The Rock comes back. There's got to do another build, and like Mr. Tito said, you want to do it longer term. And I still think it's the right time for Vegas, but they've got some work to do to get us, okay, they really don't like each other. They're really fighting over the head of the table position, whereas Rock was laying the absolute smackdown on Cody Rhodes. And it's like, we want to see them. He even told them, oh, I'm going to give you this random item that we don't know if we ever knew what it was. And that sorry about that. And that they were, I'm going to see you soon. When I come back, I'm going to be coming for you. And so I think that's got to happen first.
Gino, they got it set up. Survivor Series, Bloodline, and War Games. That's where Rock shows up and claims being the new Tribal Chief, whatever. They beat down Roman at the end of that show, and he's gone. We don't see him. Gone again, because his contract, limited dates. Rock then is back sporadically, challenges Cody, Royal Rumble, or the Raw on Netflix, however you want to do it. Title changes hands. Rock's going strong. Boom. Who's number 28, 29, or 30 where the place goes nuts at the Royal Rumble and he wins it and he finally gets the ovation that he wanted in 2015, Roman Reigns. And it sets it up. No controversy. It's right there.
That's exactly what I was just about to say.
Again, fantasy booking, all you want. That's money. There's money there. Yes, Tito.
For sure, money.
Well, you could also have Rock as the board members, put the screws to Roman, make him entrant number 1, and really earn it. Make him completely strong heading into WrestleMania, and you know, the WB is printing money. They know what they're doing right now. It's beautiful to watch right now, and they're hard to criticize. And we just lost Aaron Riff, so I hope he's doing all right there in Detroit, Michigan.
Walter, did you have something else to add?
You said exactly what I was going to say. I said you do it at the Rumble. You have Roman win the Royal Rumble, Rock win the title from Cody there, and you're forced to face each other now.
Do we still have a shot? I know Royal Rumble's a big deal for that, right? Because title changes have happened there before, and they've went on to WrestleMania. Netflix, first draw on Netflix. You want to pop a number? Cody challenge or defends against The Rock. You know, look at the most viewed Netflix live show. I don't even know if they do live shows, but they will be doing live shows.
You were talking numbers earlier. At the end of the day, this is a business, and the biggest money you can make, the biggest marquee match is The Rock Roman, no matter what. That's the most money you're going to make, and you're going to have to put it out there.
So Royal Rumble is at the Lucas Oil Stadium this year. That's where the Colts play. That's a big place.
Yeah.
So you probably want to have, you could headline it with a massive Rock versus Cody match there.
There you go. Jerry, want to add anything to this before Aaron moves on?
No, I think you guys tackled everything. Like the whole idea of The Rock coming back and being pretty much the guy that brought the rest of this new bloodline into the WWE and handpicked Solo as the new tribal chief would be just perfect to be chef kiss. So
gotcha. We got some action going on there. Like a robot. Is the robot sweeper going in somebody's house? Okay. Anyway, Aaron, go back to you. I swear, maybe it's just me. I always hear something.
No, I hear
it.
No, I hear it too.
I haven't heard anything, but anyways, thank you to everybody that sent in super chats. We are going to get to every super chat tonight in due time. We got plenty of time here to discuss everything, so keep sending in the super chats. We will get to them. If we have to be here 4 hours or whatever, we will get to them. So bear with us here. And again, thank you to everybody. Thank you, D-Wall. And sorry, Jeff's giving you a hard time in the chat room. Josh Mansfield, Mr. Tito's good friend, sent in $2. I guess off topic here. Well, no, we'll stay on topic. He sent in 2. We'll go to this one first. Josh said, who is the I think he meant true, face of WWE right now, Cody Rhodes or Roman Reigns? He's just trolling you at this point, Virtue. I think you would say Roman Reigns, right?
Cody's got the belt. It's Cody on paper, but like when we hear the fans, it's Roman. So
well, Cody gets great reactions, but I mean, Jerry, if a gun pointed to your head, who's the face of WWE right now?
Cody.
There you go, Cody.
Even for the the other night at the Bash of Berlin when he actually held the press conference because Sherpick wasn't there. That's just him being put in a position to talk about the company. So I would have to say Cody at this point.
All right,
especially that and also with his schedule, because Roman's not nearly. If they had switched schedules and Cody wasn't working nearly as much as Roman, my answer would probably be Roman.
Josh is definitely trolling now. When it comes to money and merch, it's Cody. Go look at the merch numbers with Roman's shirt since he's been back.
How about this?
Any event that Roman's on is sold out or damn near sold out. Come on, ratings always pop.
Cody's the public face, but behind closed doors, we all know it's Roman.
Tito, you're a businessman. What do you think?
Roman all the way. I've never heard a wrestler just get their name chanted nonstop for months not weeks, months. We want Roman nonstop. And not only that, he was turned into a baby face while he was not there. He was not there. So if you think that Cody Rhodes
That's a good point.
is a bigger draw than Roman Reigns, you're out of your mind. Out of your mind. I mean, the houses have kind of come down just a little bit for WWE. They've come down just a little bit. Viewership as well. So, Roman was a powerhouse as a heel champion, and demand's only gone stronger for him to return, and fans were begging for his return, and then they delivered on it, and now he's back. So it's not even close. Like Cody has a lot of booking.
That Punk wasn't an option.
Hey, Tito, could you imagine in 2015 if somebody told you in 2024 Cody and Roman would be discussed as the biggest faces of WWE? I know.
Yeah, Jerry,
What would 2015 Tito say if you were told that?
Don't forget Punk either.
Yeah, Punk would come back. He's still being back in the WWE. Yeah, it's crazy. But I think
he's the third one, right?
But I think Cody needs a lot of booking dependencies to be as strong at the top as he needs to be. He's had a lot of help, a lot of big wins, a couple Royal Rumble wins here to elevate him. Whereas Roman is just the star. He's just naturally great in his heel role, and also being kind of reshaped by Paul Heyman as his wise man. He's got the experience, and he's the draw that old Vince McMahon predicted he would be.
And the thing is with Heyman, he got Roman. We know of at least one movie. I can't remember what it's called. He got Roman to watch roles of certain characters in movies as he was plotting this tribal chief gimmick. Like that's what you do. You study. Mm-hmm. That's, and you don't have to be that, but you get ideas. You can learn body language. And it's just great to see. I can't wait for Roman's movie roles to start hitting. I want to see if this guy has it. He doesn't have to be a major player in Hollywood, but I'd like a little villain roles here and there, maybe some action movies as a sidekick. Doesn't have to be Rock or Cena, but anyway. Aaron?
All right. Thank you for that. And let's see. We do have some more super chats related to the Bloodline, but first, shout out to longtime viewer and super chatter Psycho Jet Black, who sent in $5. He says, "You guys have helped me get through a stressful time moving across the country with my family. Thank you, and hope to see you for NoDQ 400." Well, thank you for that, Psycho Jet Black, and we very much appreciate your humor and your contributions. It's definitely part of the NoDQ review. You're like the fifth Beatle with the NoDQ review. If you put all of us as the four Beatles, you're the fifth Beatle. Now, Psycho Jet Black also said, seriously, congrats to NoDQ for 300 episodes of the NoDQ review. And yes, thank you for that, Psycho Jet Black. All right, so now back to the Bloodline. We got a super chat here from Steven. He sent in $2, says, will the Usos reunion be permanent or just War Games? So do you guys think that they'll just be back for a one-off, or are the Usos better together, or are they better apart? Like, what's the end game with the Usos? Do they go back as a team? I could see them teaming up again. I know Jay's got a successful run right now, but I definitely think that there is some money to be made with an Usos reunion as baby faces with Roman Reigns. And I think they're better off together than apart. But does anybody have a different opinion? Does anybody else think it should be
Aaron, whether they're like wrestling singles or together, like Jay can still be his gimmick, right? That doesn't have to change. He doesn't have to be booked in big title matches all the time. I know he's main event Jay, but if he's in the Bloodline, they're going to main event a lot, right? I mean, even on just regular episodes of Raw and SmackDown, because, Roman, Rock, they don't work that much. They only work the big events. Who's going to do the matches and stuff as the time goes by in the weekly shows? Usos.
Yeah. So the way I see it is that these guys are like Undertaker and Kane. Like Undertaker and Kane could have great singles careers, but if there was ever a storyline that called for it, get the Brothers of Destruction back together. They can team up at any time or do their singles runs. Like you could just have them team up when there was an appropriate time for them to team up, or when you have a new hot team, you want to get the Usos back together. You always have that option. You don't have to have them team up 24/7. They can have a mix of tag matches and sometimes do singles matches, just like the Hardys. The Hardys would sometimes go off on their own, and then sometimes they would get back together. So I see it going down that kind of path. So who wants to go next on this? Gino, we'll start with you, and then Walter.
Yeah, well, if I'm not mistaken, the Bloodline holds the tag team titles for SmackDown. So I see when the Usos get back together, the natural progression would be to challenge them for those titles. I don't think it's going to be like they're just a tag team moving forward and the singles push is done and all that. But like you said, the Brothers of Destruction, which was an awesome tag team, in my opinion. I was a young kid at the time, obviously, but I think that, yeah, they'll always have each other's backs and they'll always be brothers, but they don't always have to be presented as representing the Usos or, you know, as part of the tag team when they come out for whatever single storyline they got going on.
That sounds good.
Walter?
Yeah, I agree with that, but there's definitely money in the reunion. Like, I already see new shirts, the Yeet twins, like they're gonna milk the hell out of the Yeet thing, and so yeah, I think they can the reunion, but definitely I think you need to slow burn the reunion. Don't just everything's forgiven. Somebody's got to be stubborn, and then like Paul Heyman's got to get in somebody's ear, or better yet, use Naomi to make the reunion happen so that you get that big pop, that big moment when they actually hug in the center of the ring in front of everybody. Big emotional moment for everybody. The reunion, you got to milk that too. Don't just make it all of a sudden they're back together without the explanation.
Yeah, and then at some point they'll at least have a show where Sammy gets out there in the middle of them just to pop a crowd. The house. Jerry, you want to add anything?
Well, with the Usos in general, like it's obvious that Jay's had a better career post like their split and everything, with Jimmy getting injured a lot and just being off the television. So, like Jimmy Uso gained most out of the whole reunion of the Bloodline, the OG Bloodline, and the reunion of the Usos tag team. But maybe that's what he actually needs at this point. Like he just needs to have more time to kind of find himself, and the best way of I guess the best time for him to find himself is through the whole reunion thing. So I'd be game for it. I wouldn't want it to last too long. Like I like the idea of them getting back together. It's like, okay, and them splitting up on good terms this time and just going off in their separate ways and their separate careers. So it'd be a fun watch regardless, especially the slow burn of like how to get back together. I'm really interested to see how that would go.
Tito,
it's got to involve Rikishi, right? Some way to get them back together.
Oh yeah.
Tito, anything? Oh, mute.
You're on mute, buddy.
I just think with Jimmy, he just seems like he's a little lost. You know, he doesn't have like a defined role like Jay has. Jay's kind of established himself, especially as a singles wrestler, whereas Jimmy just doesn't seem like he has a role by himself. He needs that tag team.
Marty Jannetty.
Yep, possibly. But I mean, but I think, like when DX reunited in 2000, did that hurt anybody? No, everybody stayed over. And it doesn't matter if you team up or you wrestle as a singles person. If you're part of a hot angle, that's what matters. And I think both brothers will be okay reuniting when that money starts pouring into their accounts, when they draw massive houses with Bloodline versus Bloodline for sure.
Yep. Aaron, I saw a bunch of super chats coming.
WWE should have tried to do that thing with Jimmy and Naomi. Like, you could have made money and got Jimmy over with Naomi. Like, people love Naomi. You could have did that, but it's like they shy away from it. But all the other couples, like power couples, a lot. Well, maybe not Ludwig and Tiffany. They don't really. About that, but a lot of the couples, they let you know who they are. Maybe they should have put Naomi and Jimmy together. They already had the reality show and all that. They could have did that to get Jimmy over. I don't know exactly what it is with Jimmy, but Mr. Tito's right. Like, Jay's like way more over on his own.
Yep. Well, Jimmy had all the DUIs.
Yeah. Thankfully, nothing has happened in that regard over the past couple years, and also thankfully, neither of them have gotten injured, because I remember the Usos were a bit injury prone for a while there. They were getting hurt a lot. And thankfully, during the Bloodline storyline, like a serious injury to somebody could have really screwed up the creative plans. Thankfully, nobody really got seriously hurt. Roman got COVID, but that only affected that one show. And if anything, it made the WrestleMania main event bigger, because it became champion versus champion, and they pivoted to that. After Roman got COVID, they went in a different direction with Brock getting the title over on Raw and then doing the title for title match. All right, so we got some more super chats here, and like I said earlier, we will get to all of them tonight. So if it takes us a while, don't fret. I guarantee you every super chat will be answered. I have them all starred here on StreamYard. So we had that one about the Usos, and we are going to be switching up our panels here in about 15 minutes. So in about 10 minutes or so, we're going to let everybody that's on right now, besides me and Virtue and I, will do their little goodbyes, plugs, whatever, and then we will do the second intro, and then we'll have our new panel. So stay tuned for that. We'll continuing answering questions for the duration of the evening. So Arthur Jones sent in this $2 super chat. Thank you, Arthur. Says, do you think Jacob Fatu will turn on Solo Sikoa? Like, people have been talking about this. Jerry, what do you think? I'm seeing different opinions here. Jerry, what are your thoughts?
I think, like, in the long run, I think he'll actually realize he's much more powerful player than Solo is, and he'll end up getting kicked out. I think Jacob will form a coup, and he'll take over the Bloodline, or the new Bloodline. And that's when you're introduced to Rock, and the Rock is the one that says Solo's been, like, dropping the ball, and that's why he brought Jacob in the first place. So I can see that happening. I can see Jacob actually taking over the OG Bloodline, or the new Bloodline. Sorry. But yeah, it's a little bit further away, but it could happen.
And Gino, you were shaking your head, so I guess you have a different opinion than Jerry. Go ahead.
Yeah, he is so passionate about how much he loves his tribal chief. Like Jacob Fatu keeps saying, you can hear him even when the mic's not in his face. Like, I love you, my tribal. He's standing there during those promos, holding the Ula Fala up like this. That takes dedication. I think that he gives Solo credit for bringing him into WWE, where the old Bloodline, the storyline, they're too dangerous, can't be bringing him in. And so I think he owes, or at least storyline-wise, owes a lot to Solo in that regard. And if I could see anybody turning on him, it would be Tangaloa and Tama Tonga, just based on what they're showing us on the screen. I think Jacob Fatu is way too invested and hyped up at his tribal chief to be the one that turns, in my opinion.
Right. And I think there's money in Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu now. I think there's a big money match to do with those guys. But anybody else have an opinion on that?
I don't think anything with that bloodline is going to really be altered until after Rock and Roman is finished. Then you could see Solo and Jacob go at it. That's when which will be after WrestleMania. That's what I think.
Yeah, I don't think you want to complicate things. Like, you don't want to have a bunch of people turning on each other. I think you want the battle lines to be very clearly drawn for, like, Survivor Series and WrestleMania season. I don't think you want to be doing, this person's turning, that person's turning. I think you want to just keep it simple. Roman has his side. Solo has his side. They pick their sides, and they stick with those sides for the duration of this feud going into WrestleMania. That's my take on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Jacob can be a star on his own. He don't necessarily have to turn on him, but he could separate himself from the whole Bloodline story in about a year or two. But I don't think it should happen now, anywhere close to, like, it's got to be later on down the road. Like Virtue said, after everything with The Rock and Roman happens.
All right, so we'll move on to the next topic here. Thank you for that super chat. And again, you guys can send in your super chats. We will get to all of them tonight. Pretty straightforward question here. Who will beat Cody for the Universal title and why? And when, I should say. I've talked about there's only two options.
Yep.
The Rock or Roman Reigns. One of those two. Those are the only two guys I see beating Cody Rhodes. So when?
Unless they go Rock, Roman, no title, Cena.
I don't think Cena's beating Cody. I mean, I guess that's a possibility. Mr. Tito, you're shaking your head. What are your thoughts?
No, I think it's either Rock or Roman. I think it's Rock to make him champ one more time, and then Roman beats Rock. I think that's the order it goes.
Yeah, did you hear that, Michael Peters?
It's a good progression.
Michael Peters, we got a bet going on. He doesn't think The Rock's going to win that title.
Yep.
Oh, Gino, go ahead.
Yeah. My thought about that would just be, isn't the whole point of like having somebody beat an established champion to like not necessarily get somebody new over and elevate them, but isn't it to kind of, you want to elevate somebody new to the scene? Like, I can't think of anybody right now, maybe a Braun Breaker way down the line, but wouldn't the title reign be served to pass that to somebody who could use the rub, or does the storyline just supersede that?
But why couldn't it, like, say Rock won and then Roman beats The Rock? Why can't Roman down the road be the guy to put somebody over? You know what I mean?
True. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, of all people, we were just talking about this earlier. I think there would be more value if done properly. Roman making another star than Cody. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess Rock at Rumble. I wish they would do it at Survivor Series, but that's War Games now because The Rock debuted at Survivor Series.
But I'm telling you, let Roman be in that match, but let him get beat. Let Rock show up at the end, go in the cage and beat all of them beat the hell out of Roman. Gone to Royal Rumble.
That pop will be huge.
All right, we'll move on here to the next question we got. So I think we're moving away from the Bloodline stuff for now. We got one here from Josh Mansfield. He said, how bad will the Netflix documentary destroy Vince McMahon even more? Well, I think it depends on the contents of the video and the documentary.
No more than documentaries of Catholic priests destroy them.
Wow.
So there you got it. I mean, that's what it is.
I mean,
right?
it just
There's a lot of people that sin in this world, and they're supposed to be forgiven.
Yeah, I mean, how much of the real controversies are going to be covered? It's going to be very interesting to watch.
It's going to watch the number. I don't know how Netflix reveals their numbers, but I'm expecting to see that on the most viewed lists of certain documentary, whatever their category.
I'm sure. I think this will top the Tiger King for maybe the most popular documentary in Netflix
all
history.
the wrestling fans are going to watch it, hate them or love them.
Well, I think, you know what? I think Vince is an interesting enough character that people that don't care for wrestling at all will check it out, because Vince is like his life story is almost too good for a movie. Like, you can't even write what happened in Vince McMahon's real life. Like, it's so crazy and outlandish. Like, the truth is more interesting than any fiction somebody could have come up with. Walter?
I think we're all making assumptions. What if this isn't even negative at all? It's just his life and everything, and they'd stay away from the controversy because we don't know the results yet, because we don't know. It's still pending.
Well, you got to remember, Walter, in today's society, it's guilty until proven not guilty. That's how people look at everything.
It's true.
Gino.
Yeah, so to piggyback on Walter, I would say that the poster that they revealed definitely paints him in a negative light. So I expect the documentary to be touching on some of the negative aspects. My thought process is, though, does Netflix think this is going to give them more eyes on a WWE product when they ultimately get Raw? Or do you think it could hurt the product because people are like, well, WWE had such a nasty past, I don't really want to tune in. So I'm just confused as to what they're kind of thinking with the timing of that.
They washed their hands of Vince, and that's the beauty of it all. And they washed their hands of Vince and got better at the same time. And so this will just be a reminder of this was what happened in the past. We no longer have this bad human being running our company. And so I think the real interesting thing is that this documentary has been in the works for a while. So supposedly they've been capturing stuff in the office for a short time. And there might be a clip where someone's walking around the office, maybe in the background, or maybe meeting in Vince's office for something. That's the thought, because this has been going back a while, like before 2022. That's when the board got that message from Janelle's friend. And so I think there could be some quiet fireworks on this, and I believe at the tail end, I believe they're going to go deep into that stuff, that controversy. I think TKO is like, lean into it. Go ahead. We washed our hands of this guy. Go do your bidding. We don't care. And that's.
But meanwhile,
it's gonna be an
as
official burial.
nasty of a human being as Vince's McMahon appears to be, they're going after money. Nobody wants to put I mean, we've heard, he could go to federal prison and get nothing. Nothing's happening. It's dude, even the trial, the lawsuit for the money is just being dragged along. And I'm telling you, Vince McMahon in court. You know what's funny, Tito? I swear WWE always would win their lawsuits, and I think they lost something in the last 5 years, like MLW or something weird. They actually lost.
Yeah,
I think Vince went and hired that team that beat WWE in actual lawsuit to represent him. I don't know how true that is, but that dude, he is relentless. He will find whatever help he can get and pay for it. And he's got $3 billion cash, dude. Just a madman, businessman. And people are going to talk about him forever, no matter if it's good or bad. And that's just how it is.
Well, think about. I think Vince McMahon's going to watch this election very closely, very, very closely. That's going to matter because the Department of Justice is looking at him right now, and that lawsuit's on pause. But how that Department of Justice acts is going to depend on who's president for 2025, and one of his best friends is running on one side. So I think he's heavily invested in this presidential campaign. I'm not getting into politics. I'm just stating a fact. Those two are friends. That's just a fact. That's all I'm saying.
All right. So we're getting close to the 8 o'clock hour. So I do wanted to invite real quick on here because I know he's only got a couple of minutes. Sun Goshuaku is here. Sun, how's it going, man? Welcome to the No DQ Review 300.
Hey, everybody. Glad to see 300. Yeah, I don't have much time, but I want to at least come on here and just say congratulations, 300. Fantastic. Congrats, Team NoDQ. It's been an absolute pleasure. Galaxy of NoDQ, been awesome. Always coming on here supporting NoDQ moderator virtue. Whether you've been sick or 100% still coming on here, that is a testament to your dedication. And of course, Aaron Riff, owner of NoDQ. Where would we be if you didn't even create NoDQ? Yep. None of this would exist. So, yeah, congrats to just everybody on this amazing milestone. And I'm looking forward to more.
Thank you so much for that, Son. We're going to let you go because we're going to be wrapping up this panel and getting on the new group. So thank you so much, Son, for your contributions to the No DQ Review. And make sure you guys check out Son's content over on his official YouTube channel. He's got WrestleMania and SummerSlam rankings. Thank you for that, Son. Much love to you. And hope to see you on the No DQ Review soon.
All right. Yeah. Peace, love to everybody.
All right. Thank you for that, Son. And we'll go ahead and let our current panelists do their plugs before we switch over to the next panel. So, Gino, I'll start with you. I don't think I got any graphic from you, but if you want to go and plug something, by all means, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you again. Congratulations to 300, and here's to way many more. I'm looking forward to watching after I hop out of the panel. You guys can find me on YouTube at Papagino0017. And I'm really happy and honored to be here. So thank you very much for having me.
Welcome.
It's a pleasure to have you on, Gino. Jerry Slaughter, anything you would like to plug or promote?
Very, very seldomly on Twitter, but General_JSJ and my Facebook group Armbar, all capital, ARMBAR ! A lot of wrestling discussion, memes, just good time and no real tribalism in there. So it actually kind of makes things a little funner. So this has been a blast, and number 300, just insane. Great job, guys.
Thank you for that, Jerry. Mr. Tito, thank you for donning the suit tonight to join us for the No DQ Review. Anything you would like to plug?
You said plug something. Obviously, I mean, since I'm kind of quietly hiding on social media, kept it private. The only place you can really find me is NoDQ.com. You can find all my columns in the opinions section. I've been pumping out columns like a machine gun this year. So with all the chaos in the pro wrestling world here, it's makes writing columns quite easy. And being honest here, it's been what, 4 years since I joined NoDQ. I think my first column was in late July or August 1st, something like that. So it's been an absolute pleasure to work here for the past 4 years. And you guys do a great job. So all of you do a great job here at NoDQ. It's an honor to be part of this great team. So thank you so much. And fuck you, Josh Manfield, you piece of shit.
Yeah, you got columns on NoDQ.com.
And
each column has a comment section.
And listen, Josh, you little clown. Here's the fact: you can't. The way things work, you can't sin for 6 days a week and then pray for one day to be completely washed. God watches those other 6 days. So remember that, you punk. You shut your mouth.
Wow. Okay. On that note, follow that, Walter, real quick, and then we're gonna transition to hour 2. Go ahead with your plug, Walter.
How the hell do I follow that? Well, of course, congratulations again for making that 300. But if you want to follow me on X, it's at Walter Alex Cruz, the Cal Fire Farms Instagram. Of course, the at Rage of Wrestling YouTube channel, where we had a couple of watch-alongs that are on demand now of AEW All In and NXT and everything. So if you guys can check that out.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much. Much love to you all. Everybody watching live, give us about 15, 20 seconds here. We're going to transition out, and we will be back in just a moment. Thank you, everyone.
And welcome back, NoDQ Galaxy. This is still episode 300. And I am Virtue, the moderator. Now, I am actually going to be leaving halfway through this hour and passing it over to Aaron to moderate the rest of the show because I got some things to do. However, right now on this panel, we got this guy Experience. Big Baller G is happy to be here. Clap like a seal, Big G. Come on. Noah Foster is here, decked out in his suit. And Matthew Hostetter, is this your first time on the review?
It is the first time on the review.
What's up? How's it going?
It's going great. I'm excited to be here.
All right. Well, you know how this goes. All right, Noah, what's up? We'll go around a little bit.
Hello, Virtue, Aaron, and Creel, and everybody in NoDQ. It's good to see you all once again. It's been a while, my friends. Doing well. It's been a hectic time, as always, between personal and professional life, but I'm happy to be here once again, like Big G is here always, to celebrate this milestone. Congratulations, Aaron and Virtue. Good to see y'all again.
Thank you. Yeah, it's still around. Crazy. Big G, what's up?
Nothing much. Just got home from work about half an hour ago. But I am glad to be here on episode 300. And like I always say, let's get this ball rolling, baby.
All right. What's going on? This guy Experience.
Glad to be back. It's been a little while, but I'm happy to be here. No offense, Big G. I know that's yours. But yeah, I'm ready. I'm hot, and congratulations, you guys, for 300. Also, if you see me hands behind me, I'm an alien. It's my wife. She's working out behind me. So.
Okay, fair enough. Now we go over to Aaron. Aaron, do you still have some super chats and topics lined up? If not, I always will throw something out there. You know, I always got something up here.
We got some super chats, and this is a new panel, fresh panel. So chat room, you got some hard-hitting questions. You want to get Noah Foster fired up. You want to stump Big G. This is your chance. And I just got word that once Virtue signs off, good old JM, Jeff Meacham, the OG of NoDQ, will be with us. He'll be with me for the duration. So the old school team will be here once Virtue signs off in about a half hour. So Jeff Meacham will take over the moderating position for the last hour and a half, 2 hours, however long we do this. But yeah, let's get to the super chats. First of all, Josh Mansfield sent in $2. Thank you for that, Josh. Says, in honor of Noah's first semester in Chase U. Noah, you're missing NXT right now for this.
Priorities for passions. I feel there's a bigger priority than celebrating my pride of professional wrestling. Virtue, and you deserve it.
Yes.
Well, thank you for that. Is it still not your NXT, or have you warmed up to it?
Well, you can't expect.
Wow.
Well-
I'm sure he'll be back. Whoa, we lost two people.
And we
Two
lost
to
the-
one. Whoa, what's going on?
What the heck?
Oh no, it better not be Rift Aronson.
Oh,
You got to be kidding me.
the-
What is going on here? Well, we're live, pal.
Hopefully, look at me, center of attention. Just like I like.
What in the hell just happened?
I don't think that's ever happened.
Yeah, it cut out what, 2-3 people?
Yes.
So
Wow.
Big G, everybody wants to know. Like,
Yes.
This is huge news. Okay, Noah's back, so he can pick up where he left off. All right, Noah, you are going to pick up where you left off. We lost a couple other people too. Go ahead.
That was weird. Well, technical difficulties. I blame Riff Harrison. Again, you can't expect the present to replicate the past to also define the future. I've warmed up to this new ecosystem of NXT, bringing collegiate athletes into the world of professional wrestling. It may not be the black and gold, but I will say that the white and gold, soon to be the orange, white, and black, is definitely better than the Rainbow 2.0 era. So I've definitely warmed up to it.
All right.
All right. Thank you for that, Noah. Appreciate it. Yes, I don't know what the hell happened there. If an evil spirit from the past is trying to hijack the NoDQ review tonight, hopefully we get the This Guy experience back and Matthew, but Jeff will be in soon. So we do have some more super chats. All right, Sun sent in a $5 super chat. So thank you, Sun. Sun made a brief little cameo a few moments ago to say hi. And he said, what is y'all's favorite female and male feud of 2024 in both AEW and WWE? There we go. We got the rest of the panel back. We had a crazy moment there where 3 people dropped at once. It's almost like somebody's trying to hijack the stream. So we got a new topic here. Favorite male and female feud of 2024 from both companies. Anybody have one off the top of their head to start us off?
Well, WWE for the male, Punk and McIntyre for sure.
I agree.
I mean, I like Cody and Roman and all that stuff, but since it's the whole year up to this point, and we're gonna probably get a third match here, definitely Punk and McIntyre, because Punk is back in WWE and he's having a run and he's healthy now. Why not?
Well, I would say Punk and McIntyre for the men. Women's feud, Liv Morgan and Ria Ripley would be my favorite female feud. For AEW, I'll say for the women, Toni Storm and Mariah May would be my favorite feud. And I'll probably go with Bryan Danielson and Swerve, or maybe Swerve and Hangman, because they've been going back and forth for so long. Matthew, any thoughts?
I mean, I pretty much agree with the WWE ones. It's CM Punk and, Drew. They made a bracelet more important than a world title. And yeah, right now it's Rhea and Liv. For AEW, I'd have to go with Toni Storm and Mariah May. And probably for AEW for the men, it would probably have to be MJF and Ospreay.
All right, yeah,
I don't
that's
really
a good
have
choice.
one for AEW. I won't hate but I like Tony Storm versus his critic, or not Tony Storm, Tony Khan versus his critics. That's entertaining to me.
All right, Noah Foster, how about you? You watch a lot of AEW. What do you got for us?
I mean, I watch AEW, TNA, WWE, insert company here, domestically or globally. It's definitely my favorite women's match, women's feud of the year. Timeless Toni Storm versus Mariah May. This whole battle of teacher versus protege, where the protege turns on the teacher and usurps them for the greatest prize, their spot, literally, as world champion, and literally taking the spotlight on their grandest stage. I thought was an incredible run-up since Full Gear and since January. As far as the men go, AEW has had a couple of interesting ones. I look at Will Ospreay's mental struggle with the Tiger Driver, culminating in putting on the world's best scumbag, MJF. I thought with what they did across 2 matches was a really nice story and a nice way to really define the pride both men have in themselves and the envy that MJF demonstrates still against everybody else. as far as WWE, it's hard to argue with what's been going on since Rhea and Liv have been a constant focal point of the women's divisions overall in WWE. And the men, yeah, I think Drew McIntyre and CM Punk definitely takes the cake. They've been going at it since Royal Rumble. And despite the bracelet, it's more about family values. And really, at the end of the day, it's family. It's personal. And we saw how personal it got last night. So those are mine.
Thank you for that, Noah. Big Baller G, what do you got for us?
How about this? The next question I'll answer. I'll go first because everybody pretty much said what I was thinking of. So there's no, yeah.
There you go. Short but sweet. This guy.
Yeah. Well, I'm not really an AEW guy. I check it out every once in a while, so I'm gonna leave you guys to it with the Tony Storm, Mariah May thing. But for WWE, Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan. At first, I was never a Liv Morgan fan, but she's grown on me the last several months. Rhea Ripley, great in general, and they're like the main focus of the women's division right now. As much as I like Charlotte Flair, finally we have somebody else to care about and to, I guess, root against, root for, whatever you want to call it. As for the men, same thing with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. I'm glad I can finally hate to like Drew again, because I hate his babyface run. It's terrible. He's a better heel than he is a face. CM Punk can work either way. And I kind of wish, unfortunately, in this situation, because just telling and the way they're booking Cody, he should be the main focus. That storyline should be the main thing. But they dropped the ball with this. So I really don't give a crap about anything that Cody Rhodes is doing right now. But yeah, a non-title feud, great. Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, keep it up.
All right. Solid choices, everyone. Thanks for that super chat. That was a really good one. We were talking about Rhea Ripley. This one comes from D Wall. D Wall says, do you think Rhea Ripley could be more effective and entertaining with someone else besides Dominik Mysterio? Their gimmick back and forth is getting lame and drawn out. See, I'm enjoying it personally. I think it's one of the best storylines in WWE, and I want to see Dominik get that riptide. So they gotta drag it out a little bit and not rush it. But I'm loving it. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I think it's one of the most compelling storylines. And listen to the reactions Rhea Ripley gets when she comes out there. She is a major superstar. Dominik's stock has elevated. I think it's great personally. But is anybody in this panel not digging the storyline? You guys are loving it?
I'm loving it.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
Yeah, mommy needs to put her son in his place, and it looks like he wants to be in a different place. So I'm curious how this development with Jey Uso and Rhea Ripley might evolve into mixed tag team action. Then you got a whole different focal point.
I mean,
go ahead, Aaron.
I was just going to ask Noah, where do you see this going? What do you want to see out of this storyline at this point with Liv and Dominik?
At this point, the storyline with Liv and Dominik, you got to consider the fact we already had the mixed tag with the Terror Twins. You got to look at them eventually visiting Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, probably inside Hell in a Cell. If not prior to that, you finally get Dominik Mysterio versus Rhea Ripley with respectable Damian Priest and Liv Morgan on the outside. You do man versus woman. And then beyond that, the only other thing you could do, considering Jey Uso now with the Terror Twins, you got a 6-person mixed tag you could probably do ahead of Survivor Series. But overall, the end game has to be Rhea Ripley, Riptide, Dominik Mysterio, and then go back after the women's heavyweight title.
And on the topic of this, before we move on, this guy, anything you would like to add to that?
The only thing I'm getting tired of, and this has only been in the last few days, is the fact that the Terror Twins is terrorizing the judgment. You are 2 versus 4 or 5, whatever, and how do you keep losing? That's my only issue. Last night they should have, took the L, just to keep out a little bit longer. But other than that, the actual verbal back and forth, I'm enjoying that, and just the storyline. Outside the ring, great. Inside the ring, is just stop it.
To add to that, I think what they could benefit from is an enforcer. I don't know if they should bring back Dijak or somebody big, but the problem with Judgment Day right now is you don't really take Carlitos seriously. You definitely don't take JD McDonough seriously. They're stooges, and Finn Balor's barely a step above them. What they need is a guy that can rival Damian Priest, size and strength. Dijak would have been a great choice, but they need somebody like that who can be an enforcer, who can be intimidating. They need their Jacob Fatu. That's what they need.
Would you
Bring Omos
consider? Would you consider Karrion Kross, the Final Testament, is finally dropped into oblivion, maybe somehow being renewed and maybe being the focal point of Judgment Day? Do you think there could be hope if he was put in that role?
I mean, what about a merger? They could do like a corporate ministry type thing and merge the two groups to form one super group.
What about Bronson?
Bronson Reed, yeah.
He might be a good choice. Somebody like him, you need somebody who the fans take seriously as a real threat. Right now, the Judgment Day, it didn't really bother me that much because it's like I don't take JD and even Dominik, like as entertaining as he is, he's kind of like a punching bag to the bigger stars,
Pretty much.
All right, so on the topic of that, Walter had thrown in a $2 super chat, says Dominik versus Rey Mysterio, mask versus mustache. Thoughts? You know what? If Rey, or not Rey, if Dominik keeps the mustache long enough, I think that could work. I don't think he's had it long enough to where it would really matter that much.
Rey's
because
never losing his mask again.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, Rey or Dominik would definitely lose the mustache, but I think he has to have it for a while and really establish it as something important to him before they actually go through with it. Otherwise, I don't think it would really mean anything. I don't think Rey's ever going to unmask again. We already saw him unmasked anyway, so there's really no need for that. Yeah, go ahead.
So like a retirement match, if that were to come down the line, because we're at the end of 2024, let's keeps it to will WrestleMania be long enough, or maybe even SummerSlam? And I mean, we don't know how long Ray's contract is, but I would say that would be a good send off for him. Like, he just do another JBL versus Mysterio. Not that fast though, but defeat them for their ultimate goal, and then like they go. Well, the opposite situation would be Ray retiring instead of JBL in that situation.
I mean, that's definitely a possibility, and they may do something like that for Ray's end of his career, whenever that is. He might have another 5 years. Who knows? It's hard to say where Ray will be in 5 years, if he'll still be wrestling or not. Now, Virtue, before you go, I wanted to make sure I got this one in because it's another AEW topic from D-Wall. D-Wall sent in a $2 super chat. By the way, thank you to everyone. Arlene will be getting to yours in just a few minutes. Keep sending in the super chats. We still got a long ways to go. We got another panel coming up, but if you want to send one for this particular panel, make sure you get it in. So D-Wall said, best choices for AEW face to bring biggest crowds. Anybody have an opinion or some feedback, some constructive feedback?
They got Danielson there now. MJF's a heel. I mean, those are the two top names. I mean, Omega's already kind of – see, they just don't have that one guy that moves the needle. It's all the just really good wrestlers that everybody likes to watch in their matches. They had Punk.
They had one guy.
You could say he slightly moved it in the other direction. So I don't know. They're not going to bring in, I mean, Shane McMahon, if that happens as an authority figure or whatever, that could shake some stuff up. You know, who knows where this Moxley stuff's going to go. I just don't know. I can't see anybody like that going there because I don't think they would allow that. They don't want that. They want all their boys to be. They don't want to be overshadowed. That's just what I think.
I'll follow up on that. I agree with that. And in addition to that, they don't have like the main reason why I don't care about AEW is because it's not the male soap opera like we have in WWE. Like, yeah, cool flippy dip. Like, what did Randy Orton say 5 years ago? Did a dive, like that's all they do. So yeah, I can enjoy the stunts all day long, but I mean, you're gonna get tired of it eventually. And I mean, if you're not gonna have like Moxley, he can do the best of both worlds, same as Jericho. Like any former WWE guy, they have the capability of having good acting roles and like performing a long drawn out story, so you can be entertained and you can bring it up to the next level. As for having a face of the company, again, you have D-Bry or Danielson, whatever. He can again act really, really well, and if they can put a decent storyline together, they just need some good writers to make us care about them.
Yeah, and that comes down to Tony Khan actually bringing in some new people to help with character development, and you never know who the next big star might be. Like there could be that gem out there, and you just have to find that person, and it could be anybody.
Joe Hendry.
Yeah, Joe Hendry. Could they possibly get Joe Hendry away from WWE? That would be interesting. You don't think so?
Say his name and he will appear. Don't count out Joe Hendry from not showing up anywhere. But to y'all's point, I do understand what you're saying. You basically point out the longest names in the company, the most recognized names. Kenny Omega, get well soon. Fine, diverticulitis. John Moxley, 3-time AEW World Champion, now taking a different paradigm shift in the company, talking about it's no longer their company and building some arena Shafir. Shane McMahon still up in the air. You figure about, again, how much stock they put into the likes of Will Ospreay, MJF, saying, bet on yourself. I think somehow if you work around those guys primarily all the time, you definitely can keep that draw going. We've seen how many times MJF, for example, has reinvented himself, whether heel or face. He always gets the reception, and he's arguably the biggest must-see attraction signed to AEW since day one. So why AEW and TNA tried something during the pandemic, never say never. Again, it's a new industry. We've seen a lot of stuff forgiven. We've seen a lot of stuff with collaboration. Truly, it feels like anything's possible nowadays in this business. So we'll see.
And look, Aaron, they got somebody, and they just kind of, I don't know if he was hurt too, but MJF needs the Roman Reigns treatment. Look what happened. Roman wasn't getting over. Paul Heyman, Bloodline. MJF should be the one pushed to the moon. I mean, how did Austin become ringmaster to Stone Cold? They allowed it. They let him go and do his thing. You never know when you're going to have that next buzzworthy guy unless you let him out there 3 segments every show, beginning, middle, and end. And to me, they do have that guy in MJF, but it's just they don't push him like that guy, right?
I mean,
they kind of did, but then they pull back. They just don't go full steam ahead with one guy, with one person. I don't know.
I mean,
Wardlow could have been that guy.
I'm with
time's over.
I agree with Virtue. You know, it should be MJF. He is pretty much he's one of the youngest guys. He's got the most to him. They should have never turned him babyface. That really hurt him. He should stay heel. Bryan Danielson,
but he proved that he could be, though. He got the crowd to pander to him as a baby.
He did, but I think
that's
overall,
good that you can still have the heel run is this best work, but he could do either or.
Exactly. He's multidimensional, and that yields a lot more control in creative towards which way you can carry your character and who you could help also put over. I'm actually holding out to see what he does with one of the names he dropped since being part of this company as one of the guys that could be a major player in this place, Daniel Garcia. But long-term future for Red Death is still up in the air, and we have All Out now to see that match where I probably should have put that at Grand Slam.
Okay.
I mean, Bryan Danielson. Oh, God.
I was just going to say, with MJF, nobody wants to boo the guy. That's the problem. Even at Wembley Stadium in Will Ospreay's home country, they were singing MJF's song when he came out there, and they popped for him. And they popped for him on last Wednesday's Dynamite when he came out there. They don't even boo the guy. Like he has to come up with the most outlandish, offensive remarks to get the crowd to boo him. Like they just naturally want to cheer him at this point. So I don't think he can really be a traditional heel at this point.
Well, he's very much like a tweener like Austin was. Austin kind of was supposed to be the heel, but everybody loved cheering for Austin, and they need to focus on that with MJF. Bryan Danielson will be great babyface, but he's only going to be champion. We're probably expecting 4 months, and then he'll probably drop the belt by the end of the year. I mean, you can build the company around him as champion, but they still need someone that's going to carry the company longer. Ricky Starks would have been a great choice, but he's sitting at home.
Up in the air.
They could have kept MJF as that baby face and pushed him against the Elite, Okada, Perry, and to be, oh my God, that could have been money, and put him over. Like just eventually put him over that whole group. That could have been good stuff. But
the only other person they've been putting stock into, considering what he's done with Nick Wayne, the Trios Championships, the TNT Championships, he's got a guaranteed AEW World Championship. The only other person I could think that you probably could use to buy into is Christian Cage. And he's going to challenge Bryan Danielson eventually. Will he be his undoing? No idea.
And Dylan, Edge is injured. He broke his leg, so we won't see him for a while, at least wrestling.
Right.
All right, so we'll move on to another topic here. We got a super chat. We'll read this one off here. Let me pull it up here. This one comes from Dwayne Atkinson. Dwayne said, could we possibly see a change and see the Terror Twins challenge and win the tag team titles to stick it to Judgment Day? A mixed. Has that ever happened before where a mixed team has held the men's tag team titles? Dwayne, whatever you did, you gave Noah a migraine.
China?
Yeah.
I don't think Noah approves of that idea.
I mean, let's be honest. The first, Rhea Ripley has been the closest to China where you could believe her going against some of the guys.
Yeah.
Since China. I mean, I'm not talking Nia Jax because she's big, going in the Royal Rumble. Rhea Ripley has been the closest since China. So, who knows?
Agree.
But, we're in 2024. Maybe on Netflix it'll be okay. They don't like that intergender man beating up woman. I mean, it's a different time.
Yeah, so many things are so sensitive
anymore. Like Rio could beat Dominik up all the time. They're not going to let him probably get much licks on her.
No.
Unless maybe on Netflix. I don't know, but we'll see.
Yeah. Never rule the idea out, but I wouldn't be opposed to it if it happened. I mean, they could make it work. They did it with China, but like Virtue said, it's a different era. Would it go over well? I mean, I definitely take Rhea seriously. I think she could beat up half the men.
Yeah.
Anybody else have an opinion on it?
I don't need a Eric Young and ODB situation with men's tag team championships in 2025. Thank you.
There you go.
Well, I mean, the only thing I got to add to that is pretty much what I said several minutes ago. They've been burying the Judgment Day ever since the Terror Twins broke off from them. So it's not going to be too surprising. Like, oh yeah, hey, let's challenge you 2 men versus myself and my mommy, or I guess she's not his mommy, but Rhea Ripley, and I'm not going to be like shocked whatsoever. It's not going to be my suspension of disbelief is not going to be blown. Like I'm like, oh yeah, that's standard, obvious.
All right, so we got another super chat here. Keep sending them in, guys. We got Jeff Meacham coming on in just a few minutes. Here's another one on the topic of Rhea Ripley and Dominik. Building Nexus sent in $2. Said, bigger pop, Paul Heyman's return or Rhea Ripley Riptide's Dom? That's a tough one. Big G, what do you think? What do you think will get the bigger pop?
If I had to be honest, it'd probably be Paul Heyman. Yeah, everybody wants to see Rhea Ripley do the Riptide to Dominik Mysterio, but we haven't seen Paul Heyman since he got destroyed by the Bloodline a few months ago, and everybody respects Paul Heyman. He's a Hall of Famer. When he gets that pop and he says, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman.
If he's in a segment with Roman Reigns, he's going to get a way bigger pop than Rhea Ripley doing anything to anybody.
Yeah,
again,
absolutely.
That's contingent on being in that segment with Roman or maybe even Rock.
Yeah. I was expecting Paul Heyman to show up at SummerSlam, not even say anything, but just be there and then set up the original Tribal Chief's return. Because I think that would have made that pop even bigger than what I heard at SummerSlam. I was personally thinking Paul and Roman were going to come back together, back to back. So far, I've been wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, in this current moment, if Paul Heyman doesn't return anytime soon, then obviously Rhea giving Dom the Riptide will get the bigger pop. It just depends on what happens first. If Paul comes
they're
first,
both going to be loud. So
exactly.
At that point, who cares? They're both going to be loud.
Yeah.
It also depends on, are they going to be on a pay-per-view or are they going to be on Raw or SmackDown? But both would get big, but I think having babyface Paul Heyman for the first time ever with Roman would be it. And I'm hoping we'll see that at Survivor Series because we didn't get it at SummerSlam. But the pop for Rhea and Riptide and Dom is also going to be great. But I don't think anything will beat Heyman coming out as a babyface.
Yeah.
All right. So, Virtue, are you sticking around for one more, or what's your
I'm
status?
going to go. It's an hour and a half, and I know this could go 2.5, 3 hours. And look, I've been moderator for pretty much all 300 episodes. Those couple that El Virtuoso hijacked the show, I think you moderated those ones, Aaron. But anyway, I'm going to be back for 301. I'm not retired yet, and I know there's some haters out there that want me to. We've only just begun. So you guys will get to see me again at 301, which will be soon. But for now, I'm going to let Jeff come on and finish because I have something to do tonight. Call a fantasy football draft, people, and it's at 9 o'clock. And yes, I'm going to leave you, but I'm also going to give other people the opportunity to get on and discuss wrestling with y'all. So go to x.com if you dare at NoDQ_virtue. Thank you, Aaron, Big G, Noah, Matthew, This Guy Experience, Jeff Meacham, and Tito, and everybody, the whole NoDQ crew and galaxy. I'll see you again at 301.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Virtue.
Bye,
All right,
guys.
so Virtue is out of the No DQ review. What does that mean now? This is uncharted waters. No Virtue. We rarely do not have him on the No DQ review, so we'll see what happens. But in the meantime, he's with us now, an OG of NoDQ.com. Good old JM, Jeff Meacham, has arrived. Jeff, you're going to be helping me with the moderator duties for the duration of this. So how's it going, man? Welcome to No DQ Review 300.
He said duty. Anyway,
Yeah.
well, first of all, put me in the moderator. If you're going to put me in the moderator, put me in the moderator spot. Move me up. Come on. Now, since Jeff's moderating, it is now after dark. Kids, get your drinks out. Here we go. Okay.
No, I'm gonna say straight edge. Thank
Well, no, well, we know you're gonna. We know you get your Mountain Dew, whatever you got going on there. Good for you, brother. Now, first of all, congratulations, Aaron. Even our show didn't last 300 episodes. We got to 100, and we all wanted to kill each other. So that's why we stopped doing that show, to be fair. So 300 is a milestone for NoDQ. I'm very excited to be part of it. Happy to be here. Much like my fellow Jeff, I'm happy to be here, by golly. So, and no, it's not JR's theme music. It's The Zoo by the Scorpions. If you know, you know, folks. So that's my theme song. Anyway, let's get to the next super chat or topic or what we got going on here. Let's do the thing, Aaron.
All right. So as I mentioned before, send in your super chats.
Yes.
Jeff is here now, and he's got a drink. So this could be fun. Send in your super chats, and keep in mind we still have another rotating panel coming up at the top of the hour. But let's get to this one from Arlene.
Yes.
Arlene sent in a generous $10 super chat. Says, sensitive topic, but thoughts about Nikki Bella's domestic violence situation being made public even after she requested privacy, and how some guys think she deserved it for the shoes at him. I'll start with this one. I know this is a difficult subject to talk about, and I'm not going to say too much because I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You think you might know how a married life is going, but you really don't. Only those two people know truly what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And I just hope whatever happens is what's best for everybody involved, all parties involved. I hope
Especially
whatever
Mateo.
happens. Yes, that was what I was going with there. You know, for the kid, they got to do what's best for the kid. And I feel terrible for Nikki because of everything that's been going on in her life. And it looked like she finally had a fairy tale marriage. She got married. She had her kid. But sometimes, and I know this from experience, things are not always I'm talking about my previous marriage, not my current one, which is fantastic.
No. Yeah.
But I know, like, things don't always end up being the way they appear to be. So my best wishes to Nikki and her entire family. Just very sad to hear that news. And I don't really have anything else to add to it because I don't know. There's two sides to every story, but I don't really think there's any excuse for physically hurting another person. I mean, either way, man on woman or woman on man, if it gets to that point, then you shouldn't be in that relationship, bottom line. So that's really all I have to say on it. Anybody else? I know it's a touchy subject. Would anybody else like to add a comment to that? Jeff?
Just really quick, I'm not going to comment on the situation between Nicole and Arnold. That's not any of our goddamn business, first of all. But as far as the people lobbying the comments about, oh, she deserved it because she threw a shoe, Aaron, I'm sorry. Virtue's not here, so the edict's off me, and I'm going to use my one. Fuck you people for saying stuff like that. That is ridiculous that you guys would actually feel compelled because you're hidden behind a keyboard. Oh, well, fuck that, because she deserved it. You have no idea what's going on, okay? You guys, I guarantee you, for the guy that was in the Twitter comments earlier about, oh, none of these guys are on a date, none of you people making those kind of comments toward Nicole have probably ever been in a relationship or even got to the altar, okay? There is shit that none of us know what's going on, bottom line. And it is unfortunate that it's happening. It's unfortunate because they are public figures that the journalists just feel compelled to report on every little thing. All we know for a fact is that there was a 911 call placed and that they were called off. But because of protocol, the process had to keep going. I will say, Nikki was at a event with, I think his name is Joey Chestnut. Forgive my lack of knowledge on that.
Yeah, hot dog guy.
The hot dog guy. She looked like she was okay physically. And she seemed rather upbeat concerning what's allegedly been going on. She's awesome. So I think she's doing just fine considering what is allegedly going on. But anybody that just wants to attack, oh, she deserved, he deserved, none of you people even know that one of them. So just please do us all a favor and shut the hell up. Go outside, touch some grass, breathe some fresh air. Even in California where it's still 100 degrees, go outside anyway. Maybe your brains will be melted into a proper configuration or something.
Oh, and before this guy goes, Jeff, I heard it's like 108 out there.
It is still 100 degrees. It is still 100 degrees, and it's freaking 5:30. It's bullshit. I am not okay. Send help. Send fans.
Blink twice if you need help.
Matter of fact.
Jeff, if it makes you feel any better or worse, it's 8:30 here in Florida, and it's 90 degrees outside still.
Okay, but you're choosing the humidity. That's your decision. You're choosing Florida, okay? California, it's hot, and it's summer still, but this consistent just beat our ass down heat. Aaron lived out here almost his whole life. I told him it was 120 a few weeks ago. His jaw hit the floor. Like, what? It's ridiculous. It's too damn hot.
All right, this guy, anything you would like to add?
Yeah, kind of piggyback off what Jeff said a little bit ago. Like, ultimately, it's none of our business. Unfortunately, she is a public figure. I don't really know who her husband is. It's just crazy how I seen that the headline, like I think it was the same weekend as the AEW pay-per-view, and like knowing that D-Bry or Danielson and his, which is Nikki's sister, came out at the end of that pay-per-view, and that's I think a few days or something around that time frame that came out. I was like, wow, that's very scary that happened. And I just unfortunately I'm not trying to bring John Cena into it, but I'm like, if they would have just worked out, I highly doubt this would have happened between her and John Cena. I mean, worst case scenario, they'll get a divorce and I'll be John Cena's second divorce, like whatever.
Well,
but I mean, I just feel bad for her. I personally never liked Nikki Bellas anyway, but I mean, no one deserves that. That's messed up.
Yeah. It was. I was saying that to my folks when the news broke. It's like, man, Brian was just on top of the world a couple nights ago with the title over his head, and now we got his in-laws. It just. Whatever went down, if you believe the sheets or whatever, believe the news or whatever, he's staying with their friend. She's at the house with the kiddo. It's like he better find a place to hide. There are a lot of big people in her life.
Yeah, I mean, D-Bry's a little bit taller than me, but like he can go. So and then her ex, I mean, dang.
Well, and again, just Nicole and Bree's brother JJ, like. No, dude, like, okay. Anyway, whatever happens, I just hope that the little one's okay because, again, I'm way too involved for my own damn good.
The last John Lawrence too. Like, I mean, he's kind of a little old, but that dude's pretty scary. So
don't bring up Johnny Ace when Jeff's drinking. That's the rules. Gonna get Aaron thrown off YouTube. Anyway.
All right, Matthew, go ahead with what you would like to add.
I mean, like this guy said, my big kid, this should be the Garcia family, they should be celebrating. Bryan Danielson's world champion. The entire family most of the family got to be involved. They shouldn't be having to worry about a domestic dispute. And then it's even crazier being we just heard, the news about Odyssey Jones supposedly being let go because of a domestic dispute. But also, like you said, you just hurt one of the Garcia twins who are connected very much to Bryan Danielson and John Cena. Now, I wouldn't really want them to physically hurt anybody, but there may be some head kicking that needs to be done, and we might not have to see it.
All right, thank you for that. Appreciate that, Matthew. Anybody else have a comment, or we'll move on to the next one? I think we'll move on to the next one. Big G's ready for the next one, so let's do it. All right, so Josh, who's going to be on at the top of the hour, that should be fun. He says, is Jeff ready for Dem Boys to lose to the Browns? Who are Dem Boys?
The Cowboys.
Look at Big G. He perks up as soon as we start talking about football.
Screw you, G. Dude, Mansfield, suck it. Just seriously, thanks. Anyway.
All right. Well, thank you for that, Josh. We'll see you at 9.
I will say, if we want to tie it back to wrestling, we can tie it back to wrestling. That's fine. Freaking Jeff Jarrett picked the Browns in his little DraftKings thing with Conrad Thompson, and Conrad's going, God, don't pick the Browns. Don't pick the Browns. Don't be surprised if the Browns win this game now, because it was mentioned by Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett's a jinx. Love Jeff, but he's a jinx. So, damn it.
All right, let's move on here.
Football.
All right, so Dylan Lasagna sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Says, top 3 very early picks, both men and women, to win the 2025 Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber if they are number 1 contender matches. I'll start here. I don't know if I can do 3, but I think Roman Reigns or John Cena would be my top 2 picks. Maybe CM Punk, but I don't know about that one. Depends on what the world title scenario is like. But I'm trying to think like who might be going for the title at WrestleMania. Some people have speculated on John Cena. Others have brought up maybe Roman Reigns wins in a scenario where The Rock beats Cody Rhodes at the Royal Rumble. Maybe CM Punk wins. John Cena could win and end up facing Gunther for the championship, or maybe going after Cody for the championship if it's Roman Reigns versus The Rock. So I'm thinking one of those 3 names at this point. And one of those 3, whoever doesn't win the Rumble wins the Chamber. And then as far as the women go, I'm thinking Charlotte Flair. Like, she's coming back before the end of the year, and I could see her getting back in the mix. I know she might not be the most popular pick, but I could see her potentially winning. Maybe Rhea Ripley wins the Rumble if she's not champion by then. I know she already won it, but they could have her win it again. Looking at some other names, if she's healthy, she comes back and has a good push. What about Raquel? Bring her back and get her in the mix. Maybe Roxanne Perez if she gets called up. I think it's too soon for somebody like Julia because she just started in NXT. But you could call up another rising star from NXT and have them win it. So a couple possibilities there. Anybody else have some interesting ideas or names? This guy experience, go ahead. And Jeff, you can ask around. I'll be right back in just a second. But go ahead, this guy experience. And Jeff, you can moderate it for me. Go ahead.
Okay, so for the women, pretty easy for the women's Royal Rumble / E-Chamber. I'm going to say Tiffy time. They're going to keep her holding that briefcase for the time being. Yeah, Rhea Ripley also there for the Royal Rumble / but I would definitely go with Tiffany Stratton. 2025. I didn't like her winning the briefcase this year, but this would have been, or next year, it would have been the time to put like some major victories on her in her belt, whatever you're going to call it. Then my last person, I'm just going to still win on Aaron's. NXT call-up should be fine for the E-Chamber winning match. As for the men, I want to say Sammy for Elimination Chamber. Royal Rumble, I'm going to go with yeah, like maybe did Roman ever? He went. He already won a Rumble match, so they always do the double Rumble win. So I'm gonna go with Roman. Maybe Braun, I feel like would lose it by that time. The Elimination Chamber, not the Royal Rumble. And then last but not least, this is I'm so annoyed that no one's brought this up, and I probably was going to do a super chat later, but I want Jey Uso to finally live up to that main event Jey Uso name, because we've been teased about that for 2 years now. So I would want Jey Uso to win either the Elimination Chamber match or the Royal Rumble. Highly doubt the Royal Rumble, but the Elimination Chamber is safe enough, and put him in a title picture later on in 2025. Because if he goes back into the tag title pictures, it's just going to be I don't want his name to be main event Jey Uso. It's going to be a waste of our time for the last 4 years, right? Since 2020 when Roman beat him into the main event Jey Uso. So yeah, my number one pick would be Jey Uso.
Yeah, during pandemic.
Yeah.
Because we just passed the 4 years since Payback 2020. God, that's crazy. It was 4 years that Roman started down this path, Aaron. That's crazy. I like JJ's comment. If you can throw that back up there, Aaron. I actually agree with it. Virtue got me tucked into this whole Rock and Roman needs the title scenario. He's got me dialed into that. He really does. I was against it for the longest time, but he's got me dialed in. So yeah, I would say The Rock is a very likely candidate. I personally like to see John Cena do it, but again, biased as hell. Just the way it is. Chamber wise, God, the chamber is such a random thing. People don't really consider the chamber with the prestige of the Rumble. So I'm gonna totally be a cop out and not make a pick on that one. Except Richard Morales says I'm gonna say Jeff Meacham wins the Elimination Chamber just to be that guy. Why not? Women, I'm all about Charlotte coming back and winning. Just because it would piss 3/4 of the population of the women's the wrestling fandom off. I love that. If Gunther's not the world champion, maybe, and if Alexa's ready to come back, Alexa's, from what we're getting into Instagram stories, Alexa Bliss's little one's having a little trouble with the first year, so she may not come back for a while. But I was going to say before you left, Aaron, that the good part about both matches is there's not a shortage of possibility. And I love that, because it used to be the Rumble winners would be pretty easy to predict. The top 2 or 3 people think, okay, it's going to be one of these people. But at least with the women's side of it, there's a good crop of choices. Anybody else wanted to comment on the Rumble and Chamber before we move on, Matt?
For the men, I could see, depending on who's champion, if Gunther's still champion, have Ilya win the Rumble. Give us Ilya versus Gunther at Mania.
There you go.
I think The Rock, I have a feeling The Rock probably could be in a title match with Cody at the Rumble, but The Rock would be another choice. And then Braun Breaker, if he hasn't already, if he's not still Intercontinental Champion. For the women, I see either Tiffy Time, possibly Io, and then it's a wild card, but especially after the announcement she just gave on Twitter, Jordynne Grace.
Yeah, I was going to bring up Jordynne because JJ brought up Jordynne as well. She put out an open challenge that she's going to issue on NXT next week during WWE on USA Week, when all 3 shows are on USA at the same time. I would be very interested to see the Knockouts champion, or even if she's not the Knockouts champion at that point, be in a WrestleMania marquee women's title match. We almost got it with me. We didn't almost get it, let me be honest. But Mickie James in the Rumble as Knockouts champion, that was an intriguing possibility. But there's this firm, established partnership with the two companies now. So it's not this. Whatever Forbidden Door AEW is claiming, when everybody's under the same contract and working together, this is a Forbidden Door scenario on this WWE TNA side. So I'd be very interested to see if we get a Joe Hendry in a marquee match at WrestleMania, or Jordynne Grace, or somebody else. This guy.
The likelihood of that is very slim. I still regardless of the old man. Yeah, if Vince is gone, I seriously doubt what's the other con? Not Tony Khan. What is the WWE Con's name?
Nick Khan.
Nick Khan. Okay, I highly doubt Nick Khan and or Triple H will allow that to happen, unless like if Jordan Grace's like contract is almost up, then I could say like, oh, yeah, you can probably put him in a chamber match. But winning Royal Rumble, nah, nope, not.
I'm not saying they have to win the title match.
I'm just saying, like, no, I said she could win the chamber match and then lose, like, because, like you said, unfortunately, the chamber match is one of my favorite all-time matches. It goes from being prestige to garbage, in the middle, garbage. Like, they never have it consistent. So I could see them having it, like, no offense, be, since it's the females chamber match, it could be prestige this time. She could go in and win it, like, oh my God, a non-WWE female is winning the thing. And then she goes against, like, I'll say Nia Jax, for example, and Nia Jax just curb stomps her. Okay, well, we did that little experiment, and we're done. Like, that's pretty much how I can see it.
Fair enough. Noah or Big G, either one of you guys want to have a comment on this one?
Matthew took the one that I was figured about just so we weren't playing Ctrl-C, Ctrl-V, because either Dried Up and Gooper is a WrestleMania program waiting to happen. As far as the women, it's either Charlotte Flair beating Nia Jax, how poetic, for her 17th championship, considering the last time they worked together, it was a straight almost shoot. Not to mention Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair. There's your aftermath waiting to happen at whatever they do Backlash.
Yes. G?
No, I'm good. No.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
All right, so we'll do one more here, and then we'll do the plugs for this round of the panelists. So we got this. Jeff, do you know what a ZAR super chat is?
I looked it up earlier. It's like South Africa.
All right, thank you for that, G. So Daryl sent this in. Said,
money, whatever it is.
And this is something we already answered, but we can answer this second question here. Which is the best wrestling film or a film starring a wrestler? The Chaperone? LOL.
The Chaperone. Good Lord.
No, I can name a few better than the Chaperone.
All right, Big G, tell us, inform us. What are some good wrestling movies?
Big G.
So, a guy who's watched most of the wrestler movies or movies that started wrestling, I'm gonna start off with The Kid Dem with Stone Cold freaking Steve Austin.
Ooh,
that movie was badass. See No Evil with Kane was badass. Even though some people didn't like it, I liked The Marine. I liked 12 Rounds. Yes. You know, the spin-offs with The Miz and Ted DiBiase Jr. and even The Condemned 2 with Randy Orton was pretty good too. You know, a lot of the one with Triple H, not the Chaperone, but there's another one with Triple H that he stars with Michael Rappaport was pretty good. So I mean, there was some hit and misses, but like the big ones that went to the theater, like Condemned, See No Evil, The Marine, 12 Rounds, they were all pretty good. And if you look at it now, John Cena started off doing The Marine, and now look where he's at. He's the Peacemaker. He's making the Fast and Furious movies. So he's hit it big time. And look at Stone Cold. I mean, Stone Cold, he hasn't done movies in a while, but, you know, they do acting in WWE, so why not try out in Hollywood? So
thank you for that, Big G. I mean, I think those are some solid picks. I mean, I did like The Condemned for what it was. This guy, what do you got for us?
All right. Would The Rock still count as a wrestler, though? That's the question in this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
All right. Well, you Big G, you're wrong. All Marines are great. Joking. Only the first one's good. 12 Rounds is like literally, I would say, arguably John Cena's like best movie. I mean, he minimum line, like the action and everything. I've only seen that movie like 2 times, but it's a great movie. And a lot of The Rock's middle 2000 movies are great. But now he's kind of getting annoying to change. Like, no, not Tooth Fairy. Tooth Fairy is one of the worst movies of all time. Like, I hate the movies. It's just terrible. A surprisingly good one, being a dad, is The Game Plan. It was actually surprisingly good. So I like that movie. And John Cena, another John Cena movie. I just say 12 Rounds is like the best movie he's ever made. I didn't watch Peacemaker. I'm not going to. Suicide Squad or The Suicide Squad. I'm not sure which one he's in.
The Suicide Squad.
The
Suicide Squad. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the technical sequel, it's okay, but he got the star of it. I mean, both the movies are like, but it's like, and then oh wait, actually, I'm lying. All the Hogan starring movies are the greatest movies of all time. I've seen these are fantastic.
Stand
my
up the
God.
muscles, brother.
Oh, Lordy. Yeah, the Hogan ones are what they are. I'm actually a fan. I think Mr. Nanny's funnier than hell, but that's again, that's me being a Hulkamania. I tried and true. I got the Meechamania shirt right here. I personally really like the game plan too, but I'm also a rock fan and I'm a hockey fan, so that's just got me. I mean, I'm sorry, that wasn't game plan. That was
the Tooth Fairy
was actually pretty awful, even though he was part of the Kings. It was just bad. Game plan was way better. There's been some bad ones. There's been some good ones. I liked the Marine. The Marine actually turned me around on John Cena. I was on the anti-Cena brigade in 2006 to the point where I was actually going to swing a chair into his television when he beat Edge in Toronto. There's a picture of me getting ready to take his TV out. But I saw the Marine and I felt better about my choices. Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, I like the Marvel movies, so Batista in there. I know there's the $2 super chat. There you go. Thank you,
Mr. Anderson sent in
too,
$2. Blue Tista.
Yeah, Blue Tista. I'm pretty sure Dave didn't wear the blue tights when he was in that movie. Pretty sure it wasn't a thing. Maybe in like the CGI moments where he would
Guardian.
It would have made it awkward to shoot it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy definitely put Batista on the map.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's even said himself that saved his post wrestling money making career because he wasn't doing anything, so he wasn't going to go anywhere. Walking Tall is good too. I see that in the comments.
Yeah. The rundown is the other one I forgot to say. The rundown over Walking Tall. I honestly.
See, I disagree, but I wasn't a big Sean William Scott fan back then. I appreciate it more now, but I loved Walking Tall when it came out.
Yeah.
It was one of those movies that me and my mom literally did watch again. Even she was a wrestling fan or just a fan of The Rock, because I've only seen maybe up to Goddamn, Walking Tall, Marine, 12 Rounds. That's it.
Yeah. As far as the best wrestling, Matthew, you had your hand up to answer the question, so please go ahead before I continue.
Well,
with
I'm amazed nobody mentioned this one, They Live.
Yes,
Roddy
I was just going to
Piper.
say it.
Yes, They Live is probably the best one, honestly.
And of course, I was always a sucker for Body Slam because it was just a cheesy wrestling movie with
so
wrestlers
bad.
in it.
So bad. Oh my God.
So bad, but it was so good.
So bad.
But of course, Ready to Rumble, another bad one, but good one. No Holds Barred, another bad but good one. But for modern era, Walking Tall, pretty much anything Dave Bautista's done lately between Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers Endgame, even the Dune movies. John Cena has found his role in Peacemaker.
Yep.
And then probably my favorite wrestling movie, The Wrestler.
I was going to say, as far as the movies about wrestling, it's hard to beat The Wrestler. It really is.
It is.
Mickey Rourke and the Ring of Honor guys did such a good job on that movie. They had so much good choreography and the chemistry. Ricky Stanicky. I know he's not watching. That's just the shit. God, it's so bad. Oh my God. But yeah, the Wrestler was really good for 1989 or whatever it was standards. Going back and watching it now, it's just so ridiculous. But No Holds Barred is funnier than hell. It really is. Fighting with My Family was better than I thought it was going to be. And I still haven't seen The Iron Claw, so I can't comment yet.
Really good movie.
That was a really good movie.
Okay. So, Aaron, you and I have been fans long enough to have seen the whole Von Erich story play out. I know it was very dramatized. Didn't stay true to a whole lot of the actual darkness of it, but as a movie, it's pretty. It's good, right?
Well, Jeff, go ahead, Big G.
I was gonna say, Jeff, thanks to me, you can get it on Max.
Score! I will watch that tomorrow. Tonight's not good. Aaron, you were going to say?
Well, so the Iron Claw, if anything, I don't think it was as dark as what actually happened in real life. Like they didn't cover every single brother. Like they kind of merged a couple of them together, obviously to keep the movie going along and not making it too long. But I mean, again, real life was actually more depressing and screwed up than what was depicted in the movie.
Well, I mean, God, yeah, the Von Erich story is just so just beyond anything. Like it's awful. It really is. But the younger fans that are watching this, first of all, if you're under 18, you should get your parents' permission for watching this show. But
too late.
It's valid. But yeah, the Von Erich story is easily the darkest, most tragic story in wrestling. It's. I mean, other than 2007, Chris Benoit, but the Von Erichs was a prolonged continuation of several tragedies.
Let's get your final thoughts, and then we're gonna move on here. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to the movie being made about this guy eventually, and I'm so sad that I heard that he was still working on some movies, like scary movies. So I would love to see what came from this crazy guy's mind eventually. But if I'm pretty sure they'll eventually make a movie about his life. I didn't finish the documentary on the Peacock. I was like halfway through it, but I was getting choked up halfway through it, so I was like, I'll come back later to this thing. But yeah, I can't wait to one day see a Bray Wyatt Rotunda movie, hopefully in theaters.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. We got to get Colin Andrew in here because the studio was full since Walter came back in.
Oh, whoops.
So yeah, Matthew really picked the best ones in my opinion. They Live Roddy Piper is probably the best movie with a wrestler in it as far as I'm concerned. I really enjoyed The Rundown. That would be my favorite Rock movie. I think it's just a lot of fun. And Iron Claw was great, and The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke was great too. That's a dark movie, and I think it is realistic depictions of wrestling.
And Aaron, They Live. I mean, you've got Roddy. You've got that great fight scene with what the hell's his name? Keith
David.
Keith David. You've got John Carpenter directing, which can't go wrong with John Carpenter. Oh my God! How did nobody mention Princess Bride? What are we doing, folks? Oh, Princess Bride is so good.
I don't know. I didn't even think about it.
We all failed on that one. That's bad.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
that's bad.
Shame on us.
Shame on all of us. Thank you, Richard Morales, for pointing out our shame. We will now sit in shame as we transition to the next hour.
All right, we're transitioning now. So thank you to everybody on the panel right here. Let's go ahead real quick. Do plugs. This guy, anything you want to plug or promote?
Hold on. Let me. Sorry. Not really promote. The reason why I live half the day. My wife, she usually does a crochet for Heather. I can't remember her business. She's been working a lot lately, so I don't have anything. But next time I'll be on, I'll have some new products to show you guys. But other than that, no.
All right. Well, thank you, this guy. Pleasure to have you on. Matthew, anything you would like to plug or promote?
Nothing really to plug, but thank you to you, Virtue, Jeff, the whole NoDQ family, and the multiverse, and congrats to 300 years or 300 episodes.
300.
It feels like 300 years for Aaron and I. It's only been 22 almost, but it sure feels like 300 half the time. I have no hair. How do I do my kid? It's all this guy's fault. I have no hair. It's all Aaron's fault. I have no hair, and it's all Zack Ryder's fault. He doesn't. So there you go.
Oh my lord!
Thank you.
Hour 3 kids coming up. There you go.
If I'm still allowed to be on after that comment, but I'm happy that NoDQ is around. I'm happy to be part of this community. And, here's the 300 more episodes at least.
Yes, at least.
Pleasure to have you on, Matthew. Simple Man Noah Foster, always a pleasure. You're always well dressed. You and you were one of the best dressed of the evening, I would say. But thank you for being on. You're always dressed for the occasion. So what do you got for us?
You know me, Aaron. I keep it simple. Follow me if you choose. I'm Fox in 1916. I only wish to encourage you to just enjoy life and enjoy wrestling. And stay tuned as always. I keep you in tune with all things wrestling across all 5 prediction leagues. And good luck to the team here in the continuation of TNA, RLH, AEW, WWE, and NXT. I will have updates this weekend. Work, personal life, professional life's been chaotic, but it's been an absolute pleasure engaging with y'all this hour. I'll see y'all again down the road.
All right. Thank you, Noah. And Big G, you want to go ahead and plug your stuff? Let me throw up your graphic.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, wrong graphic.
So, yeah, YouTube, if you love cats, Harley Joker 2021, _NoDQ Big Baller G, TikTok, Big Baller G 1988, NoDQ Big Baller G 1988 on Insta. Aaron, it's been a pleasure. You gave me the opportunity way back on Wrestling Trivia Challenge. Virtue gave me the opportunity to be here on NoDQ.com. I met some of you guys in person. I'm still waiting to meet some others in person down the line. But yeah, 300 episodes, and to think the very first episode, Aaron had a full set of hair.
Yeah, he had like a freaking
He had a full set of hair.
Yeah.
So
what happened in 5 years or 6 years?
Congrats to 300 episodes. Here's to another 300 down the line.
All right, thank you for that, Big G. And I said Noah best dressed, and Gino was very well dressed too. I think they were neck and neck. Both of them went all out tonight. I actually had a green collared shirt, but it doesn't work with the green screen, so I couldn't do it. But anyways, thank you guys. Much love to you all. So we're not done yet, folks. Oh, no. We're not done. We got more to come. We got another panel coming in. So give us about 10, 15 seconds here, and we're gonna transition to the new panel. So everybody on standby, and you guys can head out. We'll bring in the new people. We'll see you guys in just a few moments.
Enjoy the rest of the night, folks.
All right. Again, guys.
Have a good night.
Yes, Spencer, the beard. We all remember the beard.
Looks like I'm in here.
Everybody, welcome back, everybody. Hour 3 of episode 300, the No DQ review. No, I am not Virtue. I'm just doing his intro because I'm sitting in his chair. I am, of course, the No DQ original since 2002, Jeff Meacham. Joined, as always, the No DQ review by Aaron Rift, who's been here the whole show. I've been here for half of it now. We already lost one. Oh, no, we're actually getting a person. Cool. Joining us for hour 3. To my immediate right on screen, left in real time, Steve-O's here. Good to see Steve-O. How you doing today, brother?
Doing well. Happy to be here. I know I'm not always on, but it's always a pleasure when I'm here.
Always good to see you. TJS is here, hovering ever so close to that logo. He's gonna have it for dinner, then burp it up. There you go.
Yeah.
How you doing, Tyler? Good to see you, brother.
Looks filling. Guys, 300 episodes. It's insane. Jeff, you said that you've been here since 2002.
Oh God, here we go.
I looked back, and the first No DQ video that I was ever on was in 2017.
Jeez.
So you got about 15 years on me, but it's crazy to think that it's already been 7 years. I was 19 when I first appeared on this camera.
Just a baby.
He's got more on you when it comes to age, though.
Hey, Josh, I'm going to put you out of here. You can suck it already. Don't you start with me, Mansfield. I'm in charge tonight. Anyway, I'll make you go last. Just be that guy. Greg, always good to see you from across the pond. It's late as hell for you. We appreciate you joining us. How you doing today?
Yeah, not bad. Appreciate you for having me, Aaron. I tested Aaron today. I was like, am I going to be on? So I appreciate him for letting me be on. It is late, but I can't miss this. And obviously I'm on with some great people. Good to see TGS and the rest of you guys. So yeah, let's keep this ball rolling.
This is your payback for letting us be in bed early, thanks to All Out and the Bash in Berlin. So this is your reciprocation. All right, we're gonna skip over the Cleveland dipshit, over to the true Cleveland person, Colin Andrew. It's always good to work with the Cleaver. I never get to do this anymore. How the hell are you, Colin?
I'm a busy man these days, sir.
Yes, you are.
That's why nobody sees me.
It's John Cena up in here.
But yeah, things are good. I'm happy to be here. Happy 300. Aaron, Virtue, you're not here, but my boy. Good to see Tito on earlier. Jerry. It's been a fun show. I've been in and out of it, doing dad duty and stuff tonight, but it's been a fun show. I'm happy to be here. It's been a long time. So
I'm gonna mildly pop for the Polkai cutoff shirt before I throw it to Josh. Digging the Bundy wear, brother. Love to see it.
4 touchdowns and 1 football.
Damn straight. Love it. That show is still riding high. You can catch this on YouTube. It's all over Hulu. That show couldn't, much like most of the XMV episodes, couldn't produce them now. But by God, it's still funnier than hell.
One of my all-time favorites. Plus, wrestling appearance by King Kong Bundy.
Yes. And I actually found out today, watching some old clips, Steve and Marcy Rhodes were named after Dusty, which I didn't know that till today. So there you go.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. I just found that out not too long ago, too.
All right. Yeah, Josh Mansfield's here. Hi, Josh.
Hi, Jeff. Now, let's see how many people I can piss off in about 10 seconds. Aaron, love your hair. Thanks to Zack Ryder. Jeff, yeah, they ain't them boys. Yay, I don't have to do with virtue. Tito, go back to the retirement home.
You're not even here. Don't be a dick when they're not here. God.
And Vincent McMahon, you can rot in fucking prison.
Whoa, hey.
There we go.
All right.
I'm good.
All right. Well, there we go. Cool. All right. Well, now that Josh is completely just throwing everybody off course, Aaron, do we need more super chats? For the love of God.
Yes, we do. So, you guys out there watching this live, send in a super chat for the new panel here. We have a fresh panel with some controversial opinions that they want to discuss. Send them in. Throw us something controversial, something about Vince McMahon if you want. We'll answer it. We'll give our honest thoughts. Send in a super chat. We do have a couple here. First of all, Mr. Anderson sent in a $2 super chat. He said, for wrestling movie, Sting in The Crow. Okay. Good night, folks.
I mean, I can appreciate that The Crow inspired the Gimmick, if you believe the stories from Scott Hall and Eric Bischoff, so why not? The remake of The Crow, I'm going to hold judgment on until I actually see it, but I'm not hearing good things. So.
What would be the most influential movie that wasn't about wrestling that influenced wrestling? Would it be The Crow? Like, is there a movie that heavily influenced like a major angle or something in wrestling?
I don't know if it influenced an angle, but the fact that Hogan was in Rocky III got him back to New York.
That's true. I mean, you could argue that.
And Mr. T was also in that, which led him to the wrestling stuff. So,
but I was thinking more along the lines of like a story in a movie that inspired something that happened in wrestling. I thought Steve Austin was inspired by a movie, but I can't remember it off the top of my head.
It was a documentary about an actual serial killer, the Iceman. Oh God, it's gonna bug me till I see it. Somebody else look it up. But what I was gonna say to that was just recently here, the Mariah May Tony Storm story was based on a movie. JJ was talking about it for a month. JJ, if you're still there, help brother out, because there was a movie back in the actual golden age of Hollywood that heavily influenced the Tony and Mariah story. So
didn't No Holds Barred give us a SummerSlam main event?
I mean, yeah, but to be fair, that they were both financed by the same thing. So that's a little bit of a different story.
Oh, here's one. Cape Fear.
Cape Fear.
Cape Fear influenced not just Waylon Mercy, but later Bray Wyatt.
Yep.
Yeah, so that might be the best example I can think of. Chat room, if you guys can think of any other ones, like movies that inspired a top character in wrestling, throw it out there and we'll put some of them on the screen as we move on here. But we do have some other super chats, so thank you, Mr. Anderson. So Dwayne Atkinson, who has appeared on some NoDQ videos, shout out to Dwayne, sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that. So this is regarding JBL. JBL recently appeared on TNA Wrestling, and Dwayne said, does anybody have an opinion on what JBL has planned showing up at all these other non-WWE wrestling events? So is anybody here a diehard JBL fan and is excited? TJS, what do you think about JBL? Are you going to be tuning into TNA to see JBL?
Absolutely. I think he's going to save the company. No. I mean, all I can think about is when they had JBL managing Baron Corbin and how much that did for Corbin. Do you guys remember that? Yeah,
Try not
to. Exactly, yeah. So, I mean, I I don't know what is he still under a WWE Legends deal?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I don't know, unless he's having another run. Maybe he wants to win the G1 or something.
Oh my God!
maybe that's something
Why would you even put that in the universe? Why would you do that?
No,
Bad TJ.
That's a bad Tyler. No. Oh God. Oh, Lord Almighty.
Put you in timeout next.
Yeah. Well, but overall, though, I guess he's just having fun. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like he's long past his prime. He's having fun. He's having fun. Why not? You know, people automatically even now want to hate on John Layfield because of how John Layfield was, 15, 20 years ago. It's like, that's a great comment. I think if he's not actively influencing the creative or, being the same bully he was allegedly being back in the day, why can't we as fans just sit back and enjoy these old guys enjoying whatever they want to do with their lives? Why is it a problem?
Yeah, fair enough. Well, Steve-O, what are your thoughts on JBL? Do you want to see him wrestle again? Do you have any interest in seeing what he's doing in TNA? Do you want to see him as a manager or wrestler, or do you not care about him whatsoever?
I actually met him in person twice, and I've met all those stories of him bullying people and the Blue Meanie encounter. I was surprised how nice he was the 2 times I met him. So maybe he's doing that for the fans or whatever. But cool guy in person. I respect his business, his business aesthetic, just how he's very successful in his side businesses, and he did the Fox Business News spot and stuff like that. But, it was very interesting. When I heard he was in AAA, I'm like, what? I just thought he'd be pretty much WWE exclusive for life. And I didn't really expect him to venture into other things unless, AEW cut him a big old contract and tried to get him to do something, because they kind of did that with Mark Henry Big Show, just the shock factor of thinking those people would be WWE lifers. But anyways, cutting to the chase on what I think of him wrestling. Not a bad person, great promo guy. His in-ring stuff wasn't in the tops of my favorites, but we'll see how it goes. Maybe him as an authority figure would be cool. I liked him in NXT doing the authority thing. The Baron Corbin manager thing, not so much, but I wish him luck in whatever he's doing with these other promotional things, and hope it goes well. So that's all I really got.
All right. Well, thank you for that. Greg, any thoughts on JBL being back in wrestling? You up for this, or you do not care? Mike.
For the first time I ever muted. No, didn't realize. No, I like JBL. I especially enjoyed his time as a commentator.
Yeah.
I always thought he was actually really good, and I feel like listening to Barrett these days, I feel like he tries to be and I like Barrett, but a poor man's JBL. I feel really bad saying that, but I think you see some influence from JBL, because obviously I feel like JBL tried to be a bit like Lawler in some of the controversial takes he tried to make, but I've enjoyed him anytime he's come back and he's filled in the slot for commentary. But if he comes back again and he's an authority figure, or he's like a manager or something, I think he'd fit in quite well. He still looks great. He probably could still go, and that's weird considering in the early stages of his career he was doing hardcore matches and doing some crazy matches, tag team matches. So I think he would still fit in quite well. So let's give him a chance, see what would happen.
All right, fair enough. Colin, anything you would like to add regarding JBL?
Good for him. He's been in the business a long time. He hasn't done anything of relevance in WWE besides the Baron Corbin crap in a long time. He's been an athlete his entire life. Let him have some fun. He's still under Legends contract. Well, Legends contract isn't going to let you go out there and beat people down, yada 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 in the weekly. So hey, let him have some fun while he still can. That's really all I got to say on it. Let him make some money. Let him get in the ear of some younger talent, because he's just not walking in the back, walking in and walking out. He's given his word. He's given advice and wisdom and stuff. So I'm here. I don't really care. You know what I mean? But good for him, because I'm not going to be watching TNA wrestling to watch him show up. So good for him, though.
It's one of those things. It's like he's made like stupid money between wrestling and his investments. Like, he doesn't have to care about caring at this point. So let him out there and have fun. And that's the wisdom, like you said, Colin. That's a very good point you made.
And I do not care about JBL. I have no interest in anything he's doing. If he comes back to WWE, I do not care whatsoever. If he never appears on my TV again, I will be totally fine with that. Anyways, let's move on here. We got a couple super chats here. We need some topics. People are sending in comments, which is very much appreciated, but you got to give us some hard-hitting topics to discuss here. So Billy L sent in $2 and said, best NoDQ live ever was Crown Jewel 2018. I don't even remember what happened on that show.
I remember it. I remember it.
What happened? Was that the Shawn Michaels tag match?
No.
I don't know. Well, I remember the stream. I don't remember the show.
Oh man. Okay, what happened on the show and what happened on the stream?
Okay, well, God, what did?
Hang on, I'm getting the show history up. Give me
okay, well now I need.
I thought it was the Shawn Michaels tag match with Triple H and the Brothers of Destruction, which was a complete disaster.
Well, no, it was. You're right. You're right, Aaron. I'm sorry. You're right. It was.
Okay.
The matches were. Let's see. That's a scroll. God, this scroll takes way too long.
Yeah.
Damn.
That movie was awful.
It was Mysterio versus Orton. Oh yeah, it was the WWE World Cup where Shane became the best in the world. Oh God.
Yes!
Oh my God, I forgot about that. Jesus Christ.
Oh man.
It was that. It was. I love Shane. But golly, was that bad? Sorry, Greg, if you watch this back on demand. It was Heyman and Strowman. Hey. I see you. I'm apologizing. I'm doing my job. Leave me alone. AJ and Joe for the title, and then the World Cup, and oh God, such a bad show. What happened on the stream though?
Oh yeah, so the prediction stream, that was the Halloween episode where we all were wearing costumes, and I remember Aaron had like a fake arm or something, and there was that thing going on with the journalist in Saudi Arabia at the time, and Aaron held up the arm.
Oh my God, I forgot all about that. See, this is why we at NoDQ Media have selective memories. It's on purpose, kids. We try to forget their shit when it happens.
Oh my God, those Saudi Arabia streams are crazy.
Does anybody have a memory of the worst Crown Jewel show? Like just that gives them nightmares.
Oh, it was when the Fiend lost to Goldberg. Like to this day, I am just so upset about that. Like I remember just watching it happen and just sitting there like,
yeah, I mean, they're lucky they did that where they did it, because if that would have happened anywhere stateside,
I think Goldberg being involved in anything over there has been disastrous. You figure him and Fiend, him and Undertaker nearly crippled the Undertaker.
Oh my God, man.
nearly killed the Undertaker.
That Cain Velasquez match was pretty crap too.
Oh my God! Oh God! You still have that thing. Oh God!
Hi guys.
Oh my God.
This is Virtue's hand, by the way. That's why he's not here.
Oh,
I think that was Thane from Addams Family or something.
Right. Yeah. Between that hand and Edge Bear, we've had some odd props over the years. Or Mark. I mean, God, DX and BOD. It should have been one of the great nostalgia acts of the time, and it was just so bad. There's a super chat that kind of ties into this. I thought I saw as far as worst pay-per-view. Was that? Did I see that?
Yeah. So let's get to that, since we've been talking about the Saudi Arabia shows, and these could be perfect candidates for this question. Fine. We'll go around and get everybody's thoughts. Okay. So Dylan Lasagna sent in a $2 super chat and wants to know everyone's worst pay-per-view of all time, start to finish. I'll go first because I have a couple. So I mean, that Crown Jewel 2018, a lot of those early Saudi Arabia shows were absolutely terrible. December to Dismember from 2006, definitely up there among the worst pay-per-views of all time. WCW had a lot of bad pay-per-views. New Blood Rising, was up there with Goldberg breaking the script and refusing to put over Kevin Nash, and that's what they actually said on commentary. He walked out because he objected the finish of the match. Bash at the Beach that same year with the Vince Russo promo and Hulk Hogan saying this is why the company's in the damn shape it's in because of bullshit like this.
And that was in the script.
Yeah.
That's the sad part.
A great American Bash. I'm just going backwards now, but with Goldberg being the big surprise that not even Vince McMahon could stop. I mean, that was definitely one of the worst. And I think Great American Bash, was it Great American Bash 1991, right after Ric Flair left, and the fans were just chanting, "We want Flair" during that show. It was a complete disaster. And they had like a scaffold match, I think, with Steve Austin at the beginning.
They had a scaffold match that was a capture the flag match.
Oh, I was watching that.
PN News and his 300-pound ass on a scaffold. What are we doing?
How did Steve Austin's career recover after that?
God, that show was bad. The worst one I ever saw, and there were some bad ones in the mainstream, Heroes of Wrestling. You remember that one from '99?
Oh God, that was awful. Jake Roberts playing with his python.
Yeah, it's like every WrestleMania nostalgia act you wanted to see again, and then you went, okay, wait, I don't want to see it anymore.
Like
Never mind.
line that Jake said, like, you got 21, I got 22, we were playing blackjack.
Yeah, oh, so bad. But yeah, ECW Dismember to Dismember was easily the worst of the mainstream companies. WCW 2000, you can just lump into one big giant cluster. It was just all bad. But WWE ECW's relaunch is epitomized by December to Dismember. Just a booking disaster from start to finish. Awful show. Awful show.
All right, Cleaver, you got anything for us? Like really bad pay-per-views where you're like, did you actually buy any of like the $50 ones and you're like, I can't believe I wasted my money on this crap?
Yeah, years ago, like, you know, but that was many brain cells ago. But if I have to come to like recent stuff, Battleground 13 was pretty crappy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Great Balls of Fire, let alone terrible name, but that pay-per-view was pretty dang horrible too. And we had a lot of the bad in your houses back in the day. Remember?
Yes.
We had a lot of real bad in your houses. I remember those because I used to go to my papa's and watch them. Because the pay-per-view stuff wasn't offered where I lived, but 30 miles north you could get it. So I'd go to his house and, you know, but no, there was some that were pretty bad too. From there.
Yeah, and there was some bad new generation pay-per-views.
Yes.
Like at least a couple of those bad ones. Like I think of SummerSlam '95 when you got Mabel versus Diesel as your main event. But that show did have Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon in a ladder match. So I can't put it as among the worst. If there's a one match that saves the show, I cannot put it in the worst category.
No, I was so happy for Greg. He went to SummerSlam this year because his last SummerSlam was that SummerSlam in '95. So I'm so glad he got to go this year. Greg Cherry, sorry, I forgot. Greg Cherry, not Greg.
Yeah. Everybody that shits on AEW, like they've never had a bad pay-per-view, in my opinion. And
it's God. The TV creative is what it is, but they have yet to disappoint me when the money gets thrown down.
Yeah,
you know, I wanted to be a dick and say every AEW pay-per-view rally some feathers. You know, my Mo cameras out there and stuff.
There you go.
You know? Like, oh my God, he said anything bad about AEW? How dare you? But no, any of their majority of their pay-per-view stuff that I've seen, has. If they did that stuff all the time, it'd make me want to watch it on Wednesday or whatever their pathetic Friday and Saturday shows are. Like, you know, but yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to think of anything recent that was bad. Was it Seth Rollins? Was it Seth Rollins and The Fiend, that Hell in a Cell match?
Yeah, I was going to bring that.
That pay-per-view was that pay-per-view was pretty dog biscuits too. So
it was.
Yeah, I mean, Great Balls of Fire was bad in the name. It was almost really bad for us here at NoDQ. Just
your favorite NoDQ moment on the NoDQ review?
easily one of the worst NoDQ moments ever. Josh, bad pay-per-views for you.
So as not the youngest one here, second to youngest here. I'm not going to mention anything prior to when I got the network. So I'm going to say pretty much every COVID pay-per-view before the Thunderdome.
Fair enough.
Except for Mania, just because of a Boneyard match.
I mean, fair enough. Those pay-per-views are hard to watch, but at the same time, like, a lot of that was out of WWE's control. Like, they were trying to think outside the box. But, yeah, that one where you had, like, Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt in a swamp match, that one was rough.
Oh, God.
And Dolph Ziggler versus McIntyre for the title.
Was Roman and Braun in the cell where Brock got both those guys qualified? Was that during pandemic or was that after that or before that?
Was before.
Okay.
Yeah, so that would be mine. And, I mean, there have been some bad shows, but I mean, I would say historically, probably, WrestleMania 9, so about Dylan's level.
9 was bad.
Yeah.
11 was, you know what? I still say 11 was worse. I stand by it. 11 was just.
It was.
Poorly.
Lawrence Taylor.
11 had better potential and just tanked. 9 had some decent moments. 11 was just blanket bad.
Yeah. Oh, and the King of the Ring in 95 I thought was pretty bad. So I think they were actually chanting ECW during the show. That was when ECW was starting to build
the narrative they've run. King of the Ring 94 was only bad because the commentary. Oh God. The worst. I think the worst commentary ever on WWE was King of the Ring 94.
Yeah. And some of those early TNA, NWA TNA weekly pay-per-views were not good. I did buy several of those back in the day, and some of those were rough.
I mean, the commentary and the dialogue, it just ages like milk from some of those. They're really. Steve, I think, was trying to answer. I don't know if he had his hand up, but he was trying to answer.
So I got a couple. I'm gonna just throw out 2 quick ones, just more for a personal reason rather than like the overall quality. Like I went to Clash of Champions 2016. That was in Indianapolis. I live in Chicago. Long story short, it was a 5-hour drive. There's a huge delay on the road for whatever reason that just delayed me getting into the show. So I missed about an hour. I missed Nia Jax versus Alicia Fox. So boo-hoo on that one. But
I'm sure you were thanking the traffic at that point.
Yeah, definitely thankful for that. But it was a very average pay-per-view, and most of the Nights of Champions and Clash of Champions, I mean, I'm sure a few exceptions just are pretty average, at least under the WWE banner. I mean, Clash of the Champions from
Well, I mean, as God, I can't use that comment on the air. Sorry. Just playing with this cat is what I can say without getting me in trouble.
Say hi to Ozzy, and there he goes.
There he goes. Oh, there you go. I forgot what I was going to say. I got distracted by the cat.
Well, Jeff, while you're thinking about that, Maddie threw in a $2 super chat. Thank you, Maddie. We got to have you say it. So we had a cat on the NoDQ review, so at least we got one cat cameo for tonight. But Maddie said, here's the thing, as Jeff Meacham would say. Now you got to say it.
So here's the thing. There's still a shirt for it, and I've actually made peace with a guy that really got that ball rolling down the hill. If anybody wants to buy the shirt, you're more than welcome to it. I rarely use it anymore because it became such a thing. My entire team stole it from me.
Oh, wow.
This is
and Aaron did too. So it's like, it's not even really my thing anymore, but I'll say that in my regular life, more often than not, I'm just not on camera for it anymore.
Oh, pay-per-view where Jinder Mahal won the WWE title, I would add to that list
I was
too.
there. That was another worst ever show. I was at that damn show.
Oh my God. Dude, you are snake bit, brother. All I remember I was going to say, to be fair, with WWE United Champions, that gimmick name was Snake Bit. The first one was 2007 in June. Kind of a downhill slope from there.
Yeah. Good point there. Wow.
Greg, anything you would like to add as far as like worst pay-per-views you can think of? Anything?
Oh yes, sorry, I just going off what Jeff just said. So that first pay-per-view after You Know Who, that was Night of Champions.
Yeah, that was that weekend.
And then we got, what did we get? Punk versus Morrison?
Yeah.
Right, because it was supposed to be Punk versus Benoit, and Morrison or Nitro at the time got slid into the slot. And then we got a freaking summer of that feud. It was like, why? What are we doing?
Well, yeah, there was a
WCW booking. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. What could they do? But no, I'm going to say some of the things that some people already
so,
said. I'll go on.
Somebody freeze?
Oh, go ahead. It was lagging there for a second.
There we go.
Oh, sorry. Am I still here?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say some of what you guys have said. I struggled with some of the Saudi shows at the beginning. They were just generic house shows. Like, they weren't as well booked as they are now in terms of the product. 1995 as a whole, as Aaron was saying, 95 King of the Ring. Some of them pay-per-views just were I don't know, house shows with the cameras on. I don't know. 2017 when you had like Mahal with his little title reign. Like some of these years I remember, and I was just like, every pay-per-view was just the same, or it just ended, and you just ended, and you just thought, what did I just watch for like 2 hours, 3 hours? So. And I'll agree with Josh with the whole. I'll give it a slide because it was pandemic, but then pandemic pay-per-views, they were hard. That's when I knew I was a diehard fan, because I was still watching them, I was still getting through them, and I was like, I hope we can get through the other side of this and we get fans back, because they were hard.
Yes.
But yeah, this December. I was obviously young back then watching that. I was a few years into my wrestling. And I was just like, oh boy, we've hit the rough years. So especially after that pay-per-view, I didn't think it was going to get way back. But there we are. But there'd be some of mine, yeah.
As bad as it was for you being 2 years into your fandom, imagine being an old school ECW fan. Like, no.
Oh no, I was a few years in. I was away a few years in, but I didn't know. Obviously, I was WWF from the beginning, like early 2000, late 99. So I came in the Attitude Era. So I got the best like straight away. But I was watching WCW on like the TV that we could get over here, because when the WWF was like on what I didn't have, like when I was growing up, I didn't have the main satellite channels, so I had to deal with WCW in like 98, 99, and I was like, what is this? I was like, what is? I think I used to just get Thunder, you know. And I used to be like, I used to get it on like some random channel and be like, what is this? Like, you know, seeing some of. You know, it was like Velocity or Heat or something. I was like, what is this? Like, this is like nothing. And then when my friend showed me WWF, I was like, oh my God, I'm in love. So that's what took me.
Colin had his hand up a while back.
Oh, go ahead, Colin. You first.
That stretch when they really, really, really got into the brand split, when we had a SmackDown and a Raw pay-per-view every 2 weeks for like, what, a year and a half straight. Yeah. Those pay-per-views were so rough because there was no build for anything anywhere.
Yeah, those were. Greg brought up 95. People, you know, well, yeah, 95 Nitro started, but the pay-per-views were on WCW, just like WWF, dog shit. Like it was 95. Aaron, you and I have been fans almost the same amount of time. I think 95 was probably the worst year of our fandom.
Yeah, and people say that wrestling's bad now. I'm like, you did not live through that rough era. And even 2019 had definitely some bad moments, but not as bad as 93 or 95.
Yeah, 95 was only saved because Nitro got launched. Like without Nitro, I don't think the business would have even recovered. It was so bad and again, I'm not trying to, you know, pump up Hulkamania or whatever, but from the moment Hogan disappeared up until Nitro started, the whole business was just kind of like, okay. ECW was there and they were, you know, keeping strong. But in Philadelphia, it wasn't a global or a national like strength of the business. The business was hurting for those 2.5, 3 years. It was rough, man. Rough to be a fan.
So I just had a few more I wanted to add.
Okay, go ahead.
WrestleMania 27. That's one of the worst ones because it was a preview to Rock versus Cena. And it was a pretty filler show. I mean, Triple H Undertaker was fine, but otherwise not such a great show.
How can you crap on that? The Miz pinned John Cena in the middle of the ring, clean and decisive. Why are you shitting on Miz's greatest moment?
I know.
Exactly, Steve. You got two Cleveland boys right here.
I mean,
So
to be
watch
fair,
them out.
Mike can't remember it himself. So
That'd be true.
concussions are a thing, kids.
WrestleMania 32. That was just the start of those long.
Yeah.
Aaron and I do not like 32.
Roman.
I love 32 because
You this man. Quiet. Nope.
He loved the
because
league.
WrestleMania 32 is the reason those two gentlemen lost their hair because thank you, Zack Ryder, for winning the Intercontinental title for me.
I was already
And
losing
I
my
nearly
hair.
jumped through my friend's TV. I was so excited.
Oh no, Aaron!
I am. Somebody screen cap that and send it to me. That's tremendous. I was already losing my hair thanks to Kid and co-Kid creator. But yeah, I just lumped him with Aaron because I was standing in solidarity with my brother because I was convinced that they wouldn't give the belt to Zack Ryder, and they did.
All right. Well, we got some more super chats. Anybody, any final thoughts before we move on?
Real quick, I just wanted to say Super Showdown 2020. That I think, yeah. So real quick, I want you to just listen to this card real quick. This is the show where Undertaker won that Wake Trophy Gauntlet, where it had R-Truth eliminating Lashley, Andrade, Rowan, and then you had Undertaker come in and chokeslam AJ to win.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Miz and John Morrison defeated the New Day. Angel Garza defeated Humberto. Seth Rollins and Murphy defeated the Street Profits. Mansoor defeated Dolph Ziggler. Brock Lesnar squashes Ricochet. Roman Reigns defeats King Corbin in a cage match. Bayley defeated Naomi. And the cherry on top of the shit Sunday, Goldberg defeats The Fiend Bray Wyatt in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Awful.
That might be the worst one. Also, the one where Goldberg nearly killed The Undertaker. That was 2019.
Yeah. Those, and again, all the Saudi shows are what they are because of the way they were arranged, but the creative at least has gotten better.
Yeah, definitely. All right, guys, let's move along here. We got a lot of super chats now, so let's get to some of these. First of all, shout out to Walter. Says Scarface influenced the Razor Ramon character. That's a great example right there of a movie. And somebody made a comment, Scarface influenced Tony Khan. I'm not going to say anything further on that one.
I ain't touching that with a 45-foot pole. Nope. Too easy.
All right, so you guys, if you can think of any, we'll go through this one real quick. Shout out to Billy L, who sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that, Billy L. Much appreciated. So if WWE did another gimmick battle royal, what silly gimmicks would you guys want to see included? I got a couple. I mean, you could always bring back Doink. You can always have somebody else in the face paint be Doink the Clown.
Shane Douglas is Doink.
But I can't really think. The problem is that I hate to say this. This is kind of morbid, but like half the gimmick wrestlers are no longer with us. So that's one problem. And then the other problem is they're jackasses in real life. I mean, if he wasn't such a jackass on Twitter, like I'd say seeing Val Venus one more time might be cool. But now I have no desire to see him back. I definitely don't want to see Ryback back. So I can't. It's hard. Like what like gimmicks were kind of entertaining? I mean, if Zack Ryder for a one-off did woo woo woo, you know it. I mean, that's really his only value at this point.
Santino Marella.
Yeah, he's a good example. I think he's.
Hey, he's still working with him with TNA, so why not?
What about the Pirate Paul Burchill? Bring him back as the Pirate. Okay.
Well, I mean, if we're going to bring out popular pirates, we got to bring back Jean-Pierre Lafitte since he's still wrestling.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
What about crap? What were their names?
How about the Kiwi?
The two Matador wrestlers.
Oh God,
No
Kiwi.
Torito.
Oh, poor Alan Punk. What'd you say, Josh? I'm sorry. I talked over you.
The two Matador wrestlers. I forget what their names were.
Oh,
Los Matadores.
Oh yeah, and El Torito. We gotta have El Torito back.
Well,
That
I mean,
WLC match was good.
I mean, their cousin's still employed with the company, so they might as well bring him back.
Hey Jeff, what about Luther Reigns?
That guy. Okay, you know what? I'm not going to shit on Luther because he's got some sort of like neurological or something. So I'm not going to pick on him. That's just not. I'll feel legitimately bad about it. But yeah, if Luther Reigns was still in physical peak shape, yeah, I wouldn't want him anywhere near back wrestling. He's such an asshole.
I'm trying to think of what was a good gimmick, but it didn't really have much of a shelf life. But you could bring it back as like a one.
That'd be
Oh
good.
no! Oh no!
Mordecai.
Josh.
No, hang on. If Mordecai had debuted in the era that Undertaker debuted, it would have worked, but it was way too late.
And by the way, zero chance they ever bring back Eugene in
Yeah,
today's
no way.
era.
So not a PG or PC gimmick. Absolutely not.
Lord Tensai.
Yeah, Lord Tensai. I was gonna say that.
Anybody else have any ideas like a cool gimmick?
Tatanka.
They could... Who?
Tatanka.
Yes.
Again?
Yes.
Hey.
Again. Why not?
We haven't seen him since the last one.
Whoa,
Why not?
The Brooklyn
got one.
Brawler.
Jesse and Festus.
Luke Gallows is already on the roster.
Exactly. Imagine if he comes.
Spirit Squad would be good if all 5 of them actually came back and did the thing. I would be down for that. Because I know Kenny's an agent. Dolph's obviously doing, is obviously his real name now. But like, if the other 3 were to come back, I'd be down for it.
The more we talk about this, the less appealing this whole idea sounds to me.
We appreciate the super chat, though. Thank you.
All right, we're gonna move on. I think we've done enough trauma.
I didn't
for
right.
one
There you
evening.
go. There's a good answer.
All right, so thank you for that, Billy L.
Yes.
Okay, so here's kind of on that topic. Walter said, "What's the worst stipulation and gimmick in history?" All right, we're gonna let Colin go first on this one. Worst stipulation and gimmick. Go.
Worst stipulation ever. Judy Bagwell on a pole match.
Yes. Yes.
And if I have to say worst gimmick in history, it's got to be the oh God, what's his name? Oh God.
You tried to blank them out from your memory.
No, yeah, I did. What was the 2 kids? Mansoor. What was his name? What was the other guy's name?
Oh, Mace. Mace.
Yes,
Yes. Models.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you.
They're actually in TNA now too.
AEW, TNA.
AEW, sorry.
Hence why I won't watch. Another reason why I won't be watching TNA wrestling.
But you can watch them on Collision, Colin.
AEW. Sorry, I was wrong. Colin.
What's that? Is that the Saturday show?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
I don't think anyone.
nobody watches that. I don't think so.
Josh, you got it. You got
Pretty
any worst stipulation?
Worst stipulation, I'm gonna go with the dog kennel match.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, good choice.
Rough. Yeah.
See, good idea, except for the dogs.
Yeah. Great idea. Poorly executed. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you could bring it back and just do the steel cage and Hell in a Cell. Just don't do the dogs.
They did. They called it Punjabi prison.
No,
that's another one. There's a good
that's not Hell in a
choice.
Cell, though. That was just a steel cage made out of
I know.
whatever that was.
But yeah. Punjabi prison is definitely one of the worst gimmick matches by a long shot. But anyway, Josh.
Worst actual gimmicks, like I'm gonna say. Screw it, the Kali kiss cam.
Oh,
man.
All right. You really don't like the Kali kiss cam. Poor Kali. You're picking on the great Kali.
He's a Hall of Famer, for the love of God, Josh.
Greg, you got any?
Stipulation wise, I agree with the guys with the whole. What was the thing that the Kali had? He did that
Punjabi prison.
Yeah, the Punjabi prison. Oh my god, them matches, and I think he beat Randy Orton one of the matches. Oh my god, it nearly made me quit wrestling. In terms of some gimmicks and stuff, I was just thinking of sort of reminding myself of some like nails, the Yeti. But there was one that really got me is when I was watching like Attitude Era back in the day, or not at the beginning, but when I've watched stuff back, is the one with the headbangers, the headbanger guy that's doing the stuff in '99.
Beaver Cleavage.
Oh my god.
Beaver and Mrs. Cleavage. Oh my god.
and it got like split up because he supposedly had like beaten her up or something.
So yeah, so they did the gimmick. It died a quick death, thankfully, and then they ran a gimmick where the real life couple, they broke up on TV because he was beating her up. She had like a made up black eye. It's like like that entire partnership, Mariana should not have been near television. It was just so bad.
If that doesn't sum up 1999, I don't know what does.
Right.
All right, TJS. TJS, what do you got?
Oh man. For the worst gimmick, maybe it's just a recency bias, but it was rough when they were doing the Constable Corbin, where they were blaming the ratings on him, and
I forgot about that.
And then they did Happy Corbin, like that, and they had Madcap Moss. That was like change the channel bad for me.
That's fair.
Yeah, and then Stipulation. You know, I can't really. I mean, I don't know. It's tough for me to say because I feel like they've had some pretty solid stipulation matches recently. I don't know. Bum Ass Corbin was good, but what's a recent stipulation match that wasn't good?
Eye for an Eye.
Eye for an Eye was.
I liked that.
Awful.
I am going to get destroyed for this, and I don't care. I am going to save a Firefly Funhouse match.
The John
Cena
one?
It's blasphemy, but I did not like it.
I mean, they had to come up with something.
Yeah.
I'm not as harsh on the pandemic stuff because they had to try to come up with something outside of the box, and they did the best they could.
Yeah, I liked that match. I mean, you know what? I really don't like tables matches that much.
Okay, so just pick one.
Yeah, tables match.
All right, Steve-O, you got anything?
All right, so for worst match stipulation, one of the earliest ones, I'd say the blindfold match. Even though
I like that one.
I love that match.
Yeah, even though I like Jake the Snake and Rick Martel, I just think that's just a dumb match personally. Other than that, I'd say a good majority of the cinematic matches. I'm just not a fan. The worst one ever was from Money in the Bank 2020. Like I thought it was.
Oh God, that was bad. Yeah.
What?
I was so hopeful it was just a match on top of WWE headquarters. That would have been cool. They just filmed that, but then they had to add all that stupid Rat Race parody crap to it, so made it really dumb.
Hey, I like that too. That was very sports entertainment.
That was cool.
No, stupid
I
as hell.
liked it. And it's rare when TJS and I agree on
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool looking back on it, Steve-O, now because they were trashing the place because they were getting ready to leave.
No, I got it. I mean, like Aaron said, I can't really fault them too much.
Yeah.
I think outside the box, so I'll forgive some of that, but I'm just glad that it isn't past COVID for those matches. But as for the worst gimmick, I'd say the Blues Brothers from WWF 1995, 1996.
Oh God, the Blues. Yeah. Oh man.
Then Retribution from 2020.
Oh, I forgot.
Oh God, I forgot about them.
You know what? I think
ever.
That takes the cake. I think because they hyped it up so much.
They did. They did. That went over. That died faster than a fart in church. It was so bad. It had the people involved are so talented. I know Colin mentioned Mason Mansour, as the bad gimmick right now, but everybody in that group had such potential, and literally Ali came out of it the least scathed because he's doing what he's doing now in the Indies and the TNA. Mia Yim is the only one that's actually getting any resemblance of TV time now. That's crazy to me because all those people are so talented. It's just such a shame.
Because Vince doesn't know how to book worth.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh God!
All right. Well, those were some pretty horrific choices, but
yeah,
good choices.
For me, the worst gimmick, Aaron, is either Fantasio, you remember him,
Yeah.
or who? Yes.
Who? Who's on first?
No. Who was in the ring?
Oh, yeah, that was a bad one.
The worst disguised Jim Neidhart ever was. Like, how do you not know that big, hairy, burly football player body? Like, what are we doing? God.
I mean, just Giant Gonzalez in that outfit he wore was awful. Bastion Booger was awful.
Jorge being hired as
Mantar
a
was
wrestler.
awful when he came out with the big horns and the costume and everything. WCW had like a million bad gimmicks, and I mentioned the scaffold match just because it was dangerous and not really entertaining to watch. The Chamber of Horrors match with Abdullah the Butcher was pretty bad. Colin had some good choices. That Judy Bagwell one was bad. There were so many, but you guys had some great choices. We'll move on here now to another super chat. We got a couple more left here, and then we'll start to wrap things up here. So going to Maddie. Maddie sent in $2 and said, how would you book an AEW invasion and would it work? Now, are we talking a WWE invasion of AEW or like Bobby Lashley and MVP come in with Shane McMahon invasion? I would say this. For any invasion angle to work, the invaders have to have credibility. If they come in and they get their asses kicked and they're like jokes and nobody takes them seriously, it's not going to work. They got to come in and dominate. Look at the NWO in '96. They came in and they destroyed everybody. And even though it wasn't really an invasion, when the Shield debuted, they came in and just beat up everybody. They beat all the top stars. And what do you know? The Shield got over. So whatever they do, if they do it, if Shane McMahon comes in, they got to beat the TNA, or not the TNA, the AEW guys, and they got to be credible.
So he's saying AEW going into WWE. If that's ever going to happen, AEW's got to regain their credibility before any of that shit happens. Because if the AEW roster, as it is right now, with the way they've been booked on television, invades WWE, the entire wrestling fandom is going to gobble them up like breakfast. It would just be such a bad idea right now. You get maybe 1 to 3 people that would actually be like, wow. And then everybody else, who the hell are these guys and why are they on USA or CW or whatever, where it would just, Dylan makes the most valid point, I think, of anything, because history has shown invasions with companies don't work. You're not seeing a whole bunch of TNA people teaming up to invade NXT or vice versa. You're having people sprinkled in. Invasions just do not work because there's too much ego involved. And said that, if things continue the way they can continue, then a TNA versus NXT or even WWE thing could be viable. But AEW having an invasion, either AEW guys winning WWE or having the influx of WWE talent with Shane McMahon at the helm, for me, it doesn't work. And I know Colin's disagreeing with me on the TNA part, so please, brother, let me have it.
If I may, I think TK would probably make the same mistake VKM did and just make it a bunch of former WWE wrestlers on his roster invade WWE, since that's, what a good chunk of the roster is and a good chunk of who anyone would even recognize to begin with if they crossed over to WWE. People have never watched AEW.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
And the fact if they would just send, if Tony just sent the former WWE guys like Jericho, Moxley, Edge, that's not going to get more eyes on AEW.
Yeah,
that's just going to be like, oh, we have lots of WWE matches.
Yeah,
that AEW's paying for.
Yep.
Because that's all they could do, really. Because I'm sorry, no one from WWE is going to care about who? Mariah May. I don't even know who the heck to even say at this point. That isn't known WWE.
I think you're underestimating the sheer visual value of Mariah May or Toni Storm, for the record.
Okay. I was a Toni Storm fan back when she was in WWE.
I know that. I know.
For reasons.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, for TJS and Bailey reasons. But
okay. But the bottom line is invasion angles just, and I know I'm totally shitting on this guy Super 10, I apologize. But it doesn't work. They're too, even now, There are too many egos involved.
I wouldn't trust Tony Khan to book it. I might trust Triple H and Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm saying stick with the, like Walter said in the chat, either do a NXT invades the main roster again. But again, we all know the secret sauce. We all know they work together. So it really doesn't it would be good matches. But the complaint I always hear on a lot of podcasts, and I don't disagree with it, is a lot of these matches for matches' sake, there's no story. What's the story? These kids in the developmental are going to attack the main roster. Ask the Nexus how that went. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It worked for a brief period of time in, help me on the year, guys, 2018 when NXT went up for Survivor Series. That's the only time it actually worked because they won the night. They whooped ass.
And then Vince decided no more of this crap.
Right, because his guys were getting punked by Triple H's guys. But now everybody knows the secret sauce's ingredients. Triple H and Shawn Michaels are best friends. They're not going to do an invasion. It doesn't make sense.
Nope.
But TNA, even as still under the radar as they are, if they were to do any sort of invasion with any sort of two separate companies, it would only, honestly, for me as a fan, work with TNA and WWE. AEW, the person at the top of that food chain, cannot get past the end of his own nose to book anything seriously. It's just not going to happen. The NWA, while they finally got a decent guy wearing the 10 pounds of gold now as opposed to EC3, I'm okay with Tom Latimer being the champion, but their entire management's still a cluster. So and they're about as viable as this little crumb of my debt. Oh, there it went. So unless it's TNA and WWE, I'm not interested as a fan, personally. If AEW can get their creative and management shit together, then I'm here for it.
Yeah. I mean, that's I think sums it up. Anybody else have an opinion on it before we move to the next one? Colin, go ahead.
It's not even believable. Look at their roster compared to WWE. Look at the Bloodline. If the Bloodline was like, yo, we're all going to get along, they would wipe the entire AEW roster.
Yes.
Doing flips and shit and the whole thing. Like, oh, we got Will Ospreay. Cool. We got Jacob Fatu, who's 200 some pounds, and we'll just murder lunch your ass.
Yes.
So it's not even believable. You know what I mean? So, thanks for the couple bucks of the discussion, but that just kind of is silly to me. Like, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And do you think the Young Bucks are gonna, those little twerps are gonna come on? No.
The only
Doing
thing that
we're doing stupid.
I would like to see Roman Reigns versus Orange Cassidy.
No, okay. And again, there are so many toxic, negative nonsense on the AEW side. Like Colin said, it's silly to even. And again, I'm not purposely trying to crap on the fans donating the money. We appreciate it, but the discussion is what it is. It's a moot point because it'll never, ever work.
The only current AEW star that's not former WWE that I could see playing ball is Kenneth by Goddeth Omega.
Okay, but Kenny's got his stomach in 45 different knots right now. He's not going to be the Kenny Omega he was when he comes back. And honestly, if you send him into the Lion's Den in Connecticut, he's going to get chomped to bits. Like Colin said, you got Jacob Fatu that'll eat him for breakfast and spit him out to the rest of the goddamn delete. I'm just saying, the guy's a legitimate Samoan werewolf. He will chew Kenny Omega up and spit out what's left of him and hope to God Matt and Nick can catch it and put it back together again.
Well, first off, I wouldn't put him against Jacob Fatu. I'd try and send Wardlow maybe to deal with Jacob Fatu. I'd put Omega versus Roman.
Now, wait, Jeff, you're telling me you don't want to see Daniel Garcia versus Roman Reigns?
If Fandango was still around, that'd be a perfect match.
I'm sorry, my brain's had a stroke while at TJS said. Can we continue? Can we?
All right, we're going to move on to another topic here because we do have a couple more super chats, and we're heading into yet another hour, so we'll see how much longer this goes here.
I told you it would be done at 3.
Yeah, Greg, it's going to be morning by the time we wrap this up at the rate we're
Aaron,
going.
let's be honest.
It's morning again in the UK.
How many hours did we go for the 200? I'm pretty sure we went over midnight. Pretty sure
Yeah,
went
we
till
might have. It went long. But yeah, let's get to the next one here. So I want you guys to think about this. We're going to go one at a time. Each person just gives their pick. So Dylan Lasagna sent in $5, and you guys can think about this. I'll start with this. Everyone's dream match that they currently want, men and women's, and you can only have one for each. All right, I will start. Dream match for men. I mean, I just want to see The Rock versus Roman Reigns, as we talked about earlier. I think that's the biggest match that can possibly take place in wrestling, and I hope it happens. Like, it has to happen, right? They've put so much stock into it with Roman Reigns and The Rock, and The Rock's a heel now. That is my dream match, and I don't even know if I have a women's dream match, because I think Rhea Ripley's the biggest star in wrestling right now, but I don't know who I would put her up against. Like, she needs that next level superstar. We already saw Rhea versus Becky, so I don't know right now. I don't think I have a women's pick. Jeff, floor is yours.
So, oh God, yeah, I wasn't ready for that. Sorry.
I mean, everybody's gonna be stumped on this, I think. Anybody else want to go that have a pick like right now? Steve-O.
Yeah. So this one kind of falls under promotional, but I'll go with it. Roman Reigns versus Okada. I think that'd be a great match. I know he's been knocked down in a few notches in AEW, but that guy's a great wrestler, and I think that would have a great match. For the women, that was a tougher one, but I'm just gonna say it. I think that we do need Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair. I think that would be she'd be a formidable opponent to Rhea. I think that's like one of the best opponents, because not too many on the Raw women's side entices me with Rhea, but I think down the line that's gonna be a great match.
All right. Anybody else got a pick right now? Colin, go ahead.
Either Gunther and Lesnar, or too bad it couldn't have happened. Bray Wyatt versus Uncle Howdy. Just go as super current, and then if I had to go women, Britt Baker and Rhea Ripley.
All right, fair enough. That's a solid choice. All right, Josh, you got one?
I got a couple. Gunther and Cody Rhodes. War Games of Bloodline versus the WWE Bullet Club of Cody, AJ, Jacob Fatu. Who was it? Jacob Fatu that was in Bullet Club? New Japan people.
Tonga. It was the Tongans.
Tongans and the OC versus Bloodline, and I'm gonna go with. Shoot, no, we already got that match. For women, I'm gonna go. Well, Steve already said Rhea and Bianca. I'm gonna go Jade and the Queen.
All right, that's a solid one. Greg, you got any?
Yeah, being a Punk guy, I'd love to see Punk versus Reigns. If Punk could maybe, by next year go heel and go up against a face Reigns, I think commentary, feud wise, I think that'd be really good in terms of the back and forth. What are you gonna say?
Oh, I had an idea for the women. Go ahead and finish your thought.
Yeah, with the women, I was thinking the same. I'm not too sure. I don't know if Colin just said it with the whole Britt versus Rhea. There's a few interpromotional that would work. Because right now, with women on WWE, you're right. Rhea's been put in another stratosphere. You're sort of thinking, who's he going to face? I'm literally watching NXT now, and Julia's come out to challenge Roxanne. So maybe Julia down the line, she might be someone to look at on the main roster. So who knows?
Yeah, I was going to say, I forgot. AJ Lee coming back, put her in there against any of the names on top, whether it's Rhea Ripley or Becky Lynch or Charlotte Flair. AJ Lee coming back, she would be my top pick of bringing back a past star and get her back in the mix again.
Versus Cora Jade, put her versus Roxanne.
Yeah, there's a lot of options there. So for me, it's Punk versus Cody. I want to see that just because I wanted to see it when Punk first came back, and they kind of half-ass teased it. I also am looking forward to when Charlotte comes back and for Tiffany Stratton. They're probably both going to happen, so they're not really a dream necessarily, but they haven't happened yet, so I'm going with it. And to the comments, we're not shitting on AEW's roster. We're shitting on the way they're booked, and they're not a viable threat to anybody else.
Fair enough.
That's what that was.
Facts.
Yeah.
All right, TJS.
Yeah. I don't know if I can say this. Ryback versus Goldberg.
Are you serious?
No.
Wait, right?
Yeah, please don't be serious.
Okay.
God.
All right. So I'm going to go for the women first. I want to see Bailey versus Britt Baker, role model versus role model. I think
there you go.
Cool. Yeah.
I like it's good.
Yeah. For the men, I mean, Gunther versus Brock Lesnar is a big one. I really wish we got Bray Wyatt versus Howdy, like Cleaver said. And I really wish, I mean, I know we can't really undo the match, but I wish Bray would have ended up breaking the streak. So I think that would have been good. But Roman Reigns versus Omega, I think that would be good, even though Omega's, not, like Jeff said, he's not going to be the same old Omega. And finally, Orange Cassidy versus Rey Mysterio. I think that'd be fun.
All right, well, fair enough. Good picks. Good picks, everyone. Josh?
One more. Gunther versus Obafemi.
Oh, hey, that might be a realistic match down the line.
Yeah, that would be good. I saw somebody said Obafemi versus Moose. That's more like the Spider-Man meme. Like this one.
Yeah, that would be a good one. The This Guy Experience chimed in. He was on earlier. Bobby Lashley, who's not in WWE anymore, but never say never. Bobby Lashley versus Gunther, maybe a missed opportunity, and don't know if it'll ever happen. Certainly not AEW. It's not going to happen. Sasha Banks versus AJ Lee. So yeah, those are solid choices too. All right, so Cleaver.
Yeah, to make little Maddie happy in the chat room, I think Will Ospreay versus Seth Rollins would be a good match too. So now you can eat your pudding and go to bed, little boy. Okay, like God, but no,
right.
I think that'd be a good match too.
Since Aaron chose to highlight the comment, Josh, I know you got to go, so go ahead and do your thing.
Okay. All right, everyone, thank you. It's been great being on. Love you guys. I've missed a bunch of you guys. You guys are amazing. Colin, my Cleveland brother, good to see you. Follow me on the Twitter. And wow, I need to give you an update one because that is no longer my Twitter handle.
No.
Oops.
Oof.
Watch.
I need to give you a new one. Follow me on Twitter at Walking Hymnal, Instagram at MellowMangram, and Steve-O, great seeing you again, my dude. Greg, is this our first time being on a stream together, Greg?
Maybe.
Well,
I'm not sure.
I must say I've been very impressed with what I've seen of you the past few times you've been on. So keep doing what you're doing. TJS hi. Boss Man Meacham.
I'm not the boss anymore. Please don't put that label on me. I'm not the boss anymore by choice.
The moderator, the honorary moderator.
There we go.
The man who I won a $100 bet with a year ago when CM Punk got fired from AEW.
You better hope you can talk to me Friday morning. That's all I got to say.
Oh, boy. And Bossman Ref, you are amazing. Thank you again for everything you do. And to all of my lovely haters in the comment section, I'm on here. Where are you guys?
Ooh.
So,
any final words for Virtue?
fuck Virtue.
Fire
Virtue.
Jesus.
Damn.
Love you guys. See ya.
All right. So Josh Josh is heading out, and we got 2 more super chats here to get to. So Odyssey Jones is apparently gone from WWE. I mean, it hasn't been confirmed by WWE, but he hasn't been on Raw, and apparently there was some sort of a domestic issue with him, which is a real shame because he came in, had a hot start. Thoughts getting fired. What's next for the New Day? I mean, this sucks for the New Day. Like, I was really intrigued by the angle with Kofi and Xavier, and now they're pretty much back to going for the tag team titles again. Very disappointing. Anybody else have an opinion on this with Odyssey Jones and the New Day? I mean, it's very unfortunate.
I'd like to have some sort of confirmation, some sort of way before we start, jump into conclusions or whatever you want to call it. I mean, if he is gone, it does suck. There's no doubt about it. Such potential. But yeah, like Walter just said, hard to get painted all the facts. Now, I was going to respond to what Matty was saying, but since he got so impatient and told Josh to bounce and was being a dick, you're timed out until tomorrow, shithead. Good night.
All right. Well, there you go.
Moderator, do not mucker with me right now. Just don't do it.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with Odyssey Jones. I think it's.
I mean, if it proves to be true, then yeah, he's an ass and whatever. But again, we don't know the facts. All we know is what the sheets are saying, and we all know how reliable the sheets can be.
Yeah, I mean, I stand by innocent until proven guilty because we saw what happened with Enzo, how he ended up getting fired, and then
yes,
right, yeah. So I will reserve opinions until we have all the facts, like you guys said. But yeah, it does suck because he was in catering for I felt like 2 years.
Yeah, really.
So
I'm only not a fan of Enzo because he disrupted the show at the Staples Center and he got banned from that building. So it's like he's messing up in my house. Get out of my house.
Anyway. All right. So Mr. Anderson sent in $5, and I felt we would save this one for last. Mr. Anderson said, "Thanks, NoDQ, for 300 episodes of the most episodic show on YouTube. And what are your guys' favorite moments from 300 episodes?" Well, anytime TJS is giggling, I definitely think that's a classic moment. So, Colin, what do you got for us?
That one time that Mr. Tito told Josh to go F himself. 1,000 Alex.
That was a classic.
That made my year right there. I'm not gonna lie. Let's see. There's been so many great moments. I mean, we all have so many good interactions with each other on this. And this one thing I love about it so much is, we get so heated, but the things that the sport brings out in us, again, this panel that I'm sitting here with, I've met Aaron out of it in real life. You know what I'm saying? Like right now. But again, I talk to y'all every day. So I think some of my favorite things have come not on camera, just conversations we have in our chat room. But everything's been fun. So thanks again for 300, 6 years. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
It's a long time. Okay.
Yeah.
We're almost up there with Sons of Anarchy. Okay.
Yeah.
They went to 7. All right. We're almost there, baby. So, but no, everything, I think every episode has their favorite moments for me. And I can't pin a single one down. If I had to, literally, honestly pick my favorite one, it'd probably be my first episode, just because it was like I made it moment. So especially following the channel for so long and so many years, you know what I mean? So I go back to watching Meacham on the TW, you know what I'm saying? So it's I didn't have this, okay? I didn't have these. I didn't have my house. I moved in my basement, but still, I didn't have any of this. So but no, that's my favorite.
Appreciate
you had older
that.
Kid, yeah.
What's that?
You had your older child, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he'll be 19 in 2 weeks.
God, that's crazy.
And the time flies. I saw your comment column, I'm tired. It's later. I've been on here for over 3 hours. So what we'll do now is we'll do plugs, and then as we go through the plugs, you can throw out any favorite moment you have. Cleaver, anything you would like to promote?
NoDQ.com/merch. You can get hats and all that stuff. I have no idea if that was even my correct stuff anymore. The YouTube channel is correct, so follow that. I don't know. I'll retweet this, and then you can scroll through to see who did it. And if you see me, follow me. If not, cool. Cheerio. Take care. But again, thanks for sticking around for 300 episodes. Shout out to David. I'm breaking kayfabe. It's game. You know, Virtue, whatever. Love you, man. Thanks for everything. And hopefully we can meet up for dinner sometime soon. Thanks, guys, for having me again. It's been fun. Tyler, it's been a while, little buddy.
Yeah, it has, man.
It's
Good
been a long time.
being on with you.
Steve-O.
Yeah,
Greg,
yeah, bro.
get some sleep, sir.
Right.
My God.
Yes.
My God.
You're next, by the way, Greg.
I can't imagine. So, all right, guys, you take care, and we'll see you next time. Happy 300. See you at 4. So,
So have fun at the Pokai reunion. I know you're going to be going in a couple weeks, so have fun with that.
oh yeah, I'm going for more touchdowns this time.
That's right, baby.
Yeah.
Get that magic 5.
Monday.
Later, y'all.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Cleaver.
There you go.
All right, TJS, we'll go ahead and
Let Greg go next. It's fucking morning.
Yeah, let him.
We'll go to you next. I know it's very early now for you. Go ahead. Any final thoughts or moments from the NoDQ review?
Yeah, it's listen, it's fine. I've been doing this. Remember, I've been watching pay-per-views and Raws, SmackDowns for 20, 25 years now. So I still find it funny when Aaron's like, "Oh, I've got to stay up to midnight to watch AEW," and I'm like,
right.
I've been the WWE pay-per-views been starting at 1 o'clock since I was a teenager. Like, come on, man. And AEW pay-per-views, don't get me started. I'm up until 5 or 6 in the morning. The birds are tweeting by the end of AEW. So, but no, loved being on this review. Same with 200, I think, which was my first one. Ironically, been on a review since. One of the moments that stood out for me was this year. Was just after WrestleMania when Aaron and Virtue argued about the main event, about if it was fair or not, and they argued for about half an hour straight, just saying.
Good.
Yeah, I was just gonna say just the way they were like, was it fair though? And it was like the other people on the panel were just there, just watching it go. It was brilliant. It was brilliant.
So I got invited to that episode and I couldn't do it because I was traveling. But Aaron, JJ, he goes, "Dude, you got to get in the chat room." And I'm watching from the train station, and those two words, and I watched the entire way from my house to Los Angeles. And I had to turn the volume on super low because the conductor was giving me this. I'm like, what the hell is so funny? I was almost peeing my pants at these two. It was so good. So good.
Classic moment right there for sure.
It was literally like I was like, this is it now for the review. I was like, this is not going to end because they're not neither of them are going to back down. I was like, are we ever going to move on? Like, look what this match has done to us. Look what Reigns ending has done to Virtue. I don't know, but that's what stood out for me. But obviously, yeah, appreciate being on. I know it's super late, but I'm used to this by now. And obviously, to come on and talk wrestling with you guys, and Aaron knows I'm always here. He can hit me up. I'm always around. I like watching the reviews. And obviously all the predictions, I'm always around, so appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Obviously made some new friends, obviously love all you guys, and yeah, just keep it going, and hopefully for the next 100 to come.
Yeah, thank you so much for being on. And TJS, we love when you're giggling and when you actually show up. That's always nice. So anything you would like to plug or promote?
Well, yeah. So my favorite moment, very quick, was I mentioned that I believe it was 2017. The panel video was wrestlers that didn't quite reach their full potential, and I remember I was shocked that I got on, and I ended up watching a video from Aaron from like 2014, and I pretty much just copied what he said in that video. Like I took notes, and I was like, "Oh man, this is my chance. I gotta, I looked at it as like an audition, and I was like, oh. And I was talking about like Jake the Snake. I was born in '98, so I didn't watch Jake the Snake, but I was like, I remember specifically Aaron said, "Oh, Jake the Snake had a really good finisher," and in that video, you can go back and look. I said, "Oh, Jake the Snake had a really good finisher," and then Aaron was like, "Oh yeah," so I never thought, that I would still be on. So it's awesome. 300. Stay tuned for 400. On 400, we're actually going to be going 4 hours. On 500, we're going to go 5, 600, 6, and so on. So, that's
This plug's taking 4 by itself.
right. Yeah. So yeah, follow me on X at TYLRJSPHSMTH, and that's it. I'm out of here. I'm going to bed. I got work tomorrow. So
everybody's working with me. Screw y'all. See how it is.
Good night, guys. Always fun to be on. Great seeing you, Greg, Steve-O, Jeff, Aaron. So peace out. Bye, guys.
All right. Good night, TJS.
Later.
Tread lightly.
Of course.
And we'll see you next time.
Good night, sweet prince. Go on into that good night and sleep well.
All right, Steve-O, anything you got for us?
Yeah, no, it's always a pleasure to be on NoDQ. I've done some of my own YouTube and side projects in the past, but I don't get to do it as much anymore with work and some other stuff in life. So it's nice to come on to the NoDQ here and there and just vent out with some great people. You guys are all great, awesome people. Shout out to the rest of the NoDQ family and everything. It's just great to have some fun discussion on wrestling. You guys always crack me up with the banter. You, Aaron, and Virtue. Definitely some good moments there. I do get some good laughs off there. But no, everyone has some good opinions. It's a welcoming community, and I'm happy to be a part of it. I really don't have too much to plug myself. You can follow me on X at SteveOJ. Then my colleagues over at Too Sweet Cosplay, they do wrestling cosplays and more. Always fun to have them. They show up.
Oh, that's you guys. Okay, yeah, that's right. Okay, go. Good to know.
Wait, what's that?
I said you're part of the Too Sweet Cosplay. Those guys do some incredible work. So
thank you. Yeah, no, a lot of cool wrestling cosplayers out there. You got to give them credit. Yeah. I'm always up for chatting in the NoDQ comment section on Facebook. Always having a discussion. I'll be part of the group administration. But thank you for having me on. It's great to be here. 300 episodes. Looking for 300 more to go. But I'm about to log out myself as I have work in the morning too.
All right. And Greg, if you want, you can head out so Jeff and I can close out the show, just the two of us. Much love and appreciation to both of you. Have a great night.
Greg, always good to have a member of the Aldis family that hasn't blocked me on Twitter. So thank you for that as you depart.
All right, Jeff, it's just you and me now. We're going to go home with the NoDQ review episode 300. Go ahead and any final words or plugs, anything you would like to promote?
It's just funny for me to sit here at 300 of this when we were so melancholy 18 years ago at the end of XMV and just like, man, what are we going to do next? And it's like, we don't have anything. And here we are 18 years later, and we're still going. My favorite NoDQ review moment was definitely 200. And I only say that because I don't know who else going to remember that's still watching, but I was at the Paradise Kitty concert down at the casino, and the concert started after the review started because I was on the review when it very first started. And then I went off to do work with the girls. And then you guys were done an hour after the concert finished. It took that 4.5 hours. The girls played the entire Appetite for Destruction video album, start to finish, and you guys were still done after us. It was bananas. So that was a favorite. The other one was the first time I did the review. I believe it was with you and Virtue and Vito, I think was on that episode, which made for interesting banter because Vito immediately shat on me because that's Vito, but it was fun. It's been fun to be a part of this. It's wonderful and endearing to me that our friendship is held up after all the nonsense over the years, and you and I are still going strong even now. As far as plugs, I'm gonna be the first to say it because Aaron hasn't even announced it yet. We are previewing All Out Thursday night, September 5th, 8 Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We're talking about all the matches scheduled for the big show on Saturday out in Chicago. Yes, they're going back to Chicago. What a surprise. But yeah, I'll be on the NoDQ prediction show for All Out. I always enjoy getting the prediction. I couldn't do Berlin because I was literally on the road during that show, but I'll be here on Thursday.
Yeah, we just the train keeps rolling. We keep on
Literally
doing our thing, and much love to you, Jeff. Thank you for everything you've done on the channel over the years and your contributions and your friendship. Beautiful title there.
Yes, Darren, it does have. This was one of the 2003 releases before they WWE'd it out. I got one of the good ones.
Yeah, that's a cool design. I'm not big on title belts, but I love that old classic Winged Eagle design.
There was a question in the chat earlier about, well, the Winged Eagle saved Cody's reign. It's like, man, the design of the title is not going to save the championship reign in 2024. It's not going to happen. Got to get booked properly.
Absolutely. All right. So last super chat here, we got one more from Shanti, who finally chimed in tonight.
Yes.
Fun comment here. Will we ever get a triple threat of Braun Strowman versus Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker in a brawny paper towel on a pole match? Aloha from Hawaii. That could be the next worst gimmick match of all time.
Right. You know what, though? It would still be better than Kennel from Hell.
Absolutely. I think it would be better than a lot of the matches we mentioned earlier.
Oh, God. And Aaron, you've been a fan since like WrestleMania 3 time, right? Roughly.
I mean, yeah. As long as I can remember.
So yeah, both of us have lived through the late 80s, early 90s. There have been some shit-tastic gimmick matches and gimmicks over the years, man. Wrestling is a beautiful hot mess. It is a terrible mistress, but we will forever love it. It is what it is.
Well said, Jeff. And on that note, we will go ahead and sign off for No DQ Review episode 300. Here's to 300 more. We'll be back soon. Virtue will be back.
Yes.
On behalf of Jeff Meacham and everyone that participated, thank you all so much for your viewership. We'll see you next time. Say yes to NoDQ.com. Take care. Have a great night. Stay safe and stay positive.
And buy the shirts.
That too. Take care, guys.